the audio sounds okay. I had a few issues before the stream. But without further ado, it's Sunday. It's fight night. And I'm Gory B Movie. And you're in the Gory hole. And this is Danny Knightmare.
Yeah, hi, I'm Danny Knightmare. I'm a horror addict. And today's shirt is Ashy Slashy from Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
And today's shirt is Buffy a la Barbie. And not just any Buffy. This is Buffy from Hemming High from the movie. The Kirsty Swanson one. Yay, everything sounds perfect.
Corpse Bride art, I think.
Yeah, I have a Buffy one like that. Had I known, we could have done that couple thing where we like try to match.
It's got Pablo and Kelly on it as well.
You just touch your nips?
Yeah, in fact, when I met Dana De Lorenzo, I was wearing this shirt, and she wanted a picture of the shirt, so.
It's a pretty rad shirt. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry about the delay, but this roster, even though it's all humans that just, with mostly no powers, but they hunt creatures, some of them do have powers. Constantine, oh boy, did he mess up things. But yeah, they're a bunch of jerks, and it took them a while to get them in line.
I tried to make things a little fancier for y'all today, and of course that means I messed everything up. So there we have it. But I got a couple fancy things completed, and next week is going to be super fancy. I've also thought about just opening another night during the week where I do a stream, a horror hangout stream where I have topics and stuff like I also do. And just keeping Sunday fight night, like when we're done with our big battle royale, we'll fight about something else maybe.
Yeah, there's other things we can make fight.
Did I just burp during a stream?
Yeah, plus there's also dream fights. No, that was me. There's dream fights that that aren't like people in the same category that we could still make happen. Exactly.
So I think let me know in the chat if you would like Sunday night fight night to be an ongoing show, where even when we're done with this battle, this big battle, we continue on. We fight about different stuff. Let me know. It's something I'm thinking about. And then that means I would open up another stream during the week. I don't know, maybe Wednesday or something? I gotta think about it. I'm pulling all this stuff out of my bunghole. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat. Ooh, my mummy is here. She's the absolute best mummy ever since she found me beneath a gooseberry bush so many years ago. I love my mummy. My mummy also had surgery, but thanks to all of you who gave her a terrific Care Bear stare, she is recovering nicely. I was also had to go to the hospital this week because my cat bit me, and apparently cats have like cat venom, and they get super infected.
This is what happens when you try to make the pussies kiss.
Exactly. I was trying to help him be friends with another cat. Don't make the pussies kiss. Don't do that. And because cats got all kinds of herp in their mouth, and they're gonna bite you, and you could die. You could die. But I'm okay. My mom's okay. Everyone's okay. Rich is okay with his issue with the stones. I'm glad, guys. Our Care Bear staring is going really well. Nice to see my brother Zigma in the chat. Ariel, always nice to see you. Ariel, there's a special treat for you during tonight's stream. I know there's a fighter you're going to be excited about. My buddy Rich from the Movie Massacre Show. And that's it. That's everybody who's here. That's it.
Yeah.
Is it really just my family and my friends watching?
No.
It's all good. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine if it is. Because, dun 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 dun, here is tonight's bracket. So we've got for our first fight of the night, Sam and Dean Winchester versus Hannibal and Abigail from Blade. Creighton Duke from Jason Goes to Hell versus Bert Gummer of the Tremors franchise. Buffy the Vampire Slayer versus Cassie Hack. Hey, Torchbearer is here. Nice to see you. Guillermo de la Cruz versus Van Helsing. Mystery Inc. My son's rooting for them. Verse is the Monster Squad. Constantine versus Nick from Grimm. Ghostbusters versus the Frog Brothers. Yay, Ariel. And Ash Williams versus Abraham Lincoln. Yes, it's happening tonight. Your questions about who would win in these ultimate battles will finally be answered. Finally. All the finallys. So, let's get started, yeah? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there's 10 people. So that's enough people to get us on a vote. How you doing today?
I'm alive. I'm ready to watch a fight.
I'm ready to watch it fight. Woo! Poppy the Popcorn's here too. Yay! Woohoo! Actually, let's pop our seats up. It'll make us look super tall. Whoa! Look how much taller I got. Okay, so this first one's super easy for me. This is Sam and Dean Winchester. And one of the things I was doing that I'll have next week is I'll actually have their strengths and weaknesses listed on the screen for you for each of the contestants next week. But for this week, at least I researched and I found cool pictures. You know, something happened, right?
Yeah.
So Sam and Dean Winchester, they had a really long TV show. 15 seasons. That's almost my child's entire life of Sam and Dean Winchester. And strengths. They have a lot. So, as we said last week, we're going to kind of establish a few rules here. It's going to be essentially how they were powered at the end of the show. So we're not counting Dean with the Mark of Cain. We're not counting Vampire Dean. We're not counting when Sam didn't have a soul or when Sam had demon blood and could do all these witchy magical things. It's just your baseline Sam and Dean Winchester. So what can they do? They both have extensive occult knowledge passed on to them by their father. Holy shit, what is their dad's name? John Winchester. They are masters at hand-to-hand combat. They are master marksmen. They're master technicians. They're masters with bladed weapons like swords. They have a demon blade, an angel blade. They have all kinds of weaponry. They have massive amounts of occult knowledge and research abilities. Another thing I'm going to mention today is none of their helpers are involved in this. So one of their weaknesses is they rely a lot on their friends, like Castiel. Yeah. No Castiel in this fight. No healing, no teleporting, none of that nonsense. It's just these two brothers by themselves. What else am I missing?
They know pretty much how to kill almost any creature. Basically a god of any sort, of any demon of any sort. They have, like you said, all these guns and blades that can kill these things. Granted, they're going to be up against humans, so it doesn't matter. An angel blade would kill you just as much as a regular sword because they're fighting other humans in this. So having an angel blade isn't really more important, but they do know how to use it, obviously. Yeah, they have great hunting abilities and skills. They know how to impersonate FBI agents and stuff like that, so they can get into buildings where, you know, anybody else would probably not be able to get. They've even broken into prison as prisoners and broken out of it after figuring out the murder mystery of a ghost. So they're pretty much, when they want to know how to do something, they can figure out how to do it.
Yeah. They're very good on long car rides.
Oh, yeah.
Dean can eat like no man's business. They're experts at pool playing, like billiards. They have a lot of the skills. That's a lot of the skills. So let's talk about their weaknesses. One, Dean is afraid of flying. It's nothing that's going to impair him from getting on a plane, but it is something that is a weakness.
He also loves Japanese hentai porn.
I would say a strength and a weakness for both of them is family. It's a strength because they have each other. They always got that person who has your back, who's willing to die for you. But on the other hand, they put themselves in a lot of danger trying to save the other one. They've made deals with demons that have meant that hellhounds had to come for their souls. They've both gone to hell and back. They've had lots of things happen to them. Also, they have tattoos that protect them from getting possessed by demons.
Uh-huh. They know how to even, like, use magic to make symbols that will, like, teleport angels away from them and stuff like that. They can banish things.
Great at exorcisms.
Yep. However, since we're talking about how they don't have anybody's help, remember, if we're going especially how the show ended, they died, well, Dean died fighting vampires because they no longer had God's luck protecting them.
Yeah, you find out in the final season that they've basically been blessed with the fact that God is essentially a cheesy paperback novelist, and they're his favorite thing to write about. And so they've had kind of like main character syndrome luck their entire lives.
He didn't give them the victories necessarily because there's other versions of them in other worlds that God created and where they did die or they weren't even born and stuff, but they did have that main character luck where they were just kind of naturally good at everything. And once that kind of got taken away, they still were pretty good, but... I mean, they even defeated God himself, of course, so...
I'm going to give them still a little bit of luck, but not God-level luck.
Yeah.
My mom also mentioned... yeah, Sam is afraid of clowns. Again, it's nothing that's going to keep them from going into battle.
Yeah.
But it is a weakness. It's something that's going to make them kind of step back and go, oh, shit. They've cheated death, as Rich has said.
Several times.
They earned an Oscar Lifetime Achievement Award. They're going to earn an Oscar Lifetime Achievement Award next year. They just might.
They might.
Yeah, so these guys are pretty freaking powerful. They are the go-to, like they're notorious hunters. There's a lot of hunters in their world, but they're the best. They are arguably better than their dad.
Yeah.
And their mom.
They are the best in the world.
Yeah, so these guys, pretty freaking awesome. Who are they against? Dun, 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 are you ready for this? Do the dance. Nice one, honey. All right, Abigail and Hannibal. Now, this one I had to do some research for. So, again, I'm going to start with some rules. This is just Blade 3, not the comics. Because with Abigail, I don't think it's a huge difference. But it's a massive difference with Hannibal, because I did my research today. He's a vampire in the comics.
Huh.
Now, in the movie, they mentioned that he used to be a vampire, and somehow he's cured. But in the comics, he's pretty badass. He's got all kinds of abilities, being a vampire. But we're going off of him, who's basically Deadpool, minus all the super healing and stuff. Played by Ryan Reynolds in this movie. This is the movie that got Ryan Reynolds the part of Deadpool, because he's wisecracking. At one point, he's got the double swords. Talking about their strengths, Hannibal can dual wield like no one's business. He can dual wield pistols. He can dual wield melee weapons. He is great with hand-to-hand combat. They're both experts. He's more almost kind of like a street brawler, though, and she's more martial artsy with her hand-to-hand combat.
I'd say overall their style of fighting is a lot flashier than Sam and Dean, because that movie, in a sense, just the action in that movie is a lot more flash with the violence than Sam and Dean have a more realistic approach to their hand-in-hand. I'd say they're both very good at all their weapons, both teams.
Let's just talk about this team.
I'd say they might be a little more prolific at killing vampires, but that would be it. They don't have the knowledge and stuff to really kill anything other than vampires.
Well, let's give them their due. I mean, we gave Sam and Dean their kind of spotlight, talking about what they can do. Before we compare them to Sam and Dean, let's just talk about what they can do.
Yeah, they can kill... They helped Blade take down Dracula pretty easily, to be honest.
Well, they needed Blade to actually kill Dracula. Yeah. Abigail did try to kill Dracula, and she was unable to. So that's something that would go down in weaknesses. She was unable to kill Dracula. But she is Whistler's daughter. She's a master archer. Great with the bow and arrow. Let's see. They're both very strong, very physically capable. They're both great with firearms, especially Hannibal. And like I said, they have a lot of occult knowledge, especially vampire knowledge. Hannibal in particular, because he used to be a vampire.
Yeah.
So for weaknesses, I would say their sidekicks, they kind of need Blade to save the day.
Yeah.
They did in that movie anyway. Maybe not in the comics, but in that movie, it's a Blade movie, and they alone were not strong enough to take out Dracula. All right, so Danny, now let's compare them.
Like I said, I think their fighting style is a little above Sam and Dean's, just up and close, but I wouldn't say it's that much different. I'd say they're pretty equal when it comes to like long-range weaponry. They didn't sadly kill Hitler, so they can't say that. Not only did they not kill Dracula.
I will say, even just by how experienced they are in Blade 3, Sam and Dean have a lot more experience. A lot more. And I would argue that maybe they're not martial artists like Abigail. They fight more like Hannibal does, but I think they're better fighters. Hannibal may be better with guns. And definitely Abigail is better at archery. I've never seen the boys do any kind of archery.
No.
But yeah, Hannibal with the dual wielding and stuff, the boys don't do that kind of stuff very often. They use a lot of different weapons though, and I think they have a bigger arsenal. Overall, they have a much bigger arsenal. Mm-hmm. I think they're also more familiar with more different kinds of demons. They don't just deal in vampires.
Yeah.
And they've gone against alpha vampires and stuff, which is like kind of the equivalent to Dracula. I think they could have killed Dracula in that movie.
Probably. But I want to point out, Dean was killed by pretty standard vampires.
That's true, but we're not giving him the total, like, God just, turned his back on them at the ending one. We're giving like a little bit of both, so
All right.
not totally. What are you thinking? I'm going to ask... Oh, hey, Elisa's here. So what do you guys think in the chat? Who do you think would be better? I am going with Sam and Dean Winchester, frankly. I think they have a lot more strengths. They've also overcome so much more than Abigail and Hannibal had in this movie. So I'm going to say Sam and Dean Winchester. I think these two are really skilled fighters, but I think they rely on Blade.
Yeah.
I don't think that movie, that they would have saved the day, and killed Dracula by themselves.
But I also have to point out that Sam and Dean have had to rely on Castiel and other people to save them as well.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, they usually are there at the very, end of the season to do the final thing, but they've been saved plenty of times where they would have died otherwise.
I still think Sam and Dean, they also have an ability to always figure out something. They're master technicians. Mm-hmm. They are able to look at a problem, even if it's something they've never seen before, and figure out how to kill it. Whether it's a witch or a demon or a Wendigo or an angel. I mean, I remember in the first or second season, they didn't even believe that heaven existed, whereas most of the show is involving angels. So, but when they came across it, they were able to deal with it. They were able to fight angels. They were able to fight demons. And yeah, they've had to use a lot of magic and stuff to do that. But again, that's another thing. Abigail and Hannibal have no magical abilities. They do not know how to do any kind of spellcraft, whereas the boys do. Yeah. They're very... Sam is proficient enough at magic at the end of it that he's able to do spells for Rowena.
Yeah. And that's, like I said, we're not counting when he has, demon blood stuff, but he still can do spells. And they also know how to fight the spells, even though they don't go around doing them very often themselves. If they really needed to take out 2 humans for whatever reason. And yes, Sam and Dean have killed humans. It's not like they would hesitate on that. They don't like to hunt humans, but they have had to kill them, and they would if they really needed to. They could use a lot more of their knowledge. They have a whole bunker full of knowledge.
And I think luck plays into all these things. I think you could argue they have kind of action movie luck on their side, Abigail and Hannibal, and the boys have that god luck, but I mean, I think it all is down to luck. Anybody can have a bad day where they're unlucky. I think they talk a lot about hunters in that show where you can hunt your whole life and then it's the stupidest thing. In roller derby, we used to joke about that. Then usually if you're going to break your arm or your wrist or something, is when you're standing in line doing absolutely nothing and you fall back for no reason.
Oh, same in wrestling. Saw a lot of people get injured just going to the ring and getting into the ring.
Yeah, it's just the stupidest things. So I'm not counting Dean's death against him. I think that was a bad day. He's also been doing it for a long time, and I feel like they were kind of at a place where they were done.
Yeah.
They were, especially Dean. I mean, Dean...
The odds are against you if you just do it forever like that.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it's just going to happen. I'm going to count it a little bit, but I'm not overall making my decision on it.
But Dean was a lot hungrier in the beginning than he was in the end. So somewhere in the middle, obviously not them when they first started because they're not as experienced and stuff, but they did have a lot more luck. So, just kind of, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
if they somehow were just thrown into an arena with no warning at all, I'd say the odds are pretty even. But if it was anything where they had even a remote chance to plan the fight, I think Sam and Dean have way better odds when it comes to that. So, putting both of those scenarios together, not just one, I'm going to give it slightly to Sam and Dean.
Slightly, huh?
Yeah, slightly.
I'm surprised. I thought they were going to mop this one up.
At first glance, yeah, just basing on that. But then I think about a lot of things. Like you said, Blade helps them, but I perceive Sam and Dean need help.
Castiel doesn't show up until season 3.
Exactly. That's when they start taking on really big bads, though.
Well, they talk on Azazel and Azazel or whatever, and a whole bunch of other ones.
I'm giving it to Sam and Dean slightly. I'm not just going full on though. I think in an arena fight where they have no prep at all, and they just kind of have the weapons they usually carry on them, I would say Abigail and Hannibal would have a very strong chance. I wouldn't say that they would win it, but I'd say they have a strong chance in that scenario. But other scenarios, if you like count all the scenarios, basically, you could see them fighting. I think most of them would go to Sam and Dean.
And let's see if we can get some more people here in the chat, because we only have 9 people watching. Guys, it's just sad. I'm gonna share the stream really quick and see if we can get some more votes. What'd I do?
Yesterday was SummerSlam, so you ain't losing to that.
I don't know, dude. People just aren't interested in seeing Hunters fight.
Oh, I think Ric Flair's last fight is tonight.
No, really?
That might be. I'm just kidding. Woo! I don't think that would be taking away your stuff, but who knows? I think his pay-per-view is today. I think the pay-per-view is called.
Oh yay, Becky's here.
What's up, Becky? How you do?
All right, so let's see. I guess. Hey, so we got a couple votes for the Blade team. So if you're voting for the Blade team, I want to know why. Like, give them an argument. I think Dan made some good arguments for them. Oh, it's hot. Okay, so I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about them?
Like I said, if it was just kind of thrown in there with nobody was really prepared, I think they usually have their shit on them a little more than Sam and Dean. Usually have a gun and a knife on them under their FBI jackets and stuff, but I could see them winning in out of the spur of the moment fight. But
here's something else I'm going to point out: Sam and Dean work together better than these two do.
Yeah, I agree.
They've been working together longer. Mm-hmm. They're a better team. They care more about experience. The other one living. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Abigail, she nearly gets killed by Dracula at the end of that movie. She's trying to kill Dracula, and he gets the upper hand on her, and Blade saves her. Yeah. But I don't know if Hannibal would have been that quick to save her. She needed Blade to save her. Whereas Sam and Dean, it doesn't even matter if there's other hunters there. They've got each other's backs completely.
I agree.
But yeah, okay, the Blade team's doing well. We got 17 votes. I'm gonna call it. I'm surprised by how well they did. What about you?
No, I mean, at first glance, yeah, but one more I thought about it, I'm not that surprised. I could see them winning, but I'd still give the edge to Sam and Dean.
Are you ready for the next one? That was a good fight. So Sam and Dean Winchester are going on to the next round. They're gonna fight whoever wins this next bracket. Dude, get hyped.
Yeah.
Hyped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Girl.
Oh, Elisa's watching SummerSlam now.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, you watched the replay.
Sweet, dude. Okay, so the next one.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
Next one, I've got Creighton Duke. Creighton Duke, he's a weird dude. He's a weird dude, but he's tough.
There's a fan theory that he could actually be Jason Voorhees' dad.
Okay, we're not even going to touch fan theories. We're not even going there. So if you don't remember who Creighton Duke is, it's probably because you haven't watched Jason Goes to Hell a billion times like I have. He is a former bounty hunter. He says in the film that he has captured 6 serial killers. So that was kind of what he did for a while there, is he was hunting down serial killers. So he definitely knows a lot about how killers' minds work, how to track them down, and how to capture them while keeping himself alive. He's very mysterious, but he also has a lot of occult knowledge because he is the one who brings the Kandarian dagger to the Voorhees family so that they can take out Jason. Yeah. Where he got this, I don't know. Maybe he went into the Evil Dead verse.
Ash let him borrow it. Also, his story continues in Roseblood, Friday 13th fan film. But he doesn't do anything of super note in that movie. So.
I'm not going to... Okay, so if we talk about rules law, I'm not going to count a fan film.
All right.
I'm going to say that's not canon.
That's also a prequel anyway, so...
So then here's the other thing, talking about weaknesses. So at the end of the movie... Hey, Dino's here! What's up? At the end of the movie, Jason gives Creighton this, big bear hug, and it looks like he dies. It looks like he broke his spine, and Creighton's dead. However, the actor who plays Creighton says that he is not dead. So take that for what you will. I mean, I saw Dead Meat's kill count. Creighton was on it. So there's kind of a division amongst the Jason fandom as to whether or not he's alive. But if nothing else, he absolutely did not win the fight against Jason. He may not have died, but he didn't win. Granted, he wouldn't have been able to win because you need that Voorhees dagger to kill Jason.
By a family member.
And even that didn't really keep him down.
Yeah.
So Jason's just.
It did send him to hell. I mean, these weird clay, dirt rock demons pulled him down there, and Freddy grabbed his mask. But he came back from hell, of course.
Yeah, Creighton Duke. He's ruthless. Like, he breaks the fingers of one of the other good guys. He turns a strange phrase. Like, I think it's like a little girl sticking a hot dog through her fingers or something. What was that?
I don't remember.
He's so weird. He's so weird. Sigma's falling asleep. All right, we got to get more hyped.
Anyways, he's pretty good at catching serial killers, but he was not. And even, yes, they wouldn't have been able to send Jason to hell without his help, but he himself couldn't take on Jason.
All right, so who's he fighting against?
He's fighting up against Bert Gummer.
Bert Gummer?
Expert graboid killer and hunter.
He has been in every single Tremors movie.
Yep.
Every single one.
And the last one added it kind of sad for him, but it's still up in the air of what exactly his fate is.
What are Bert's skills?
He knows how to kill almost any type of predator that's not supernatural other than maybe a graboid on Earth. He can kill, any type of big game hunting. He has hunted it. He's a big game hunter, lives out in the desert, and then when graboids show up, he mounts one of their heads on his wall too because
he said mount.
Yep. He gets called in the second movie to go down to Mexico and help hunt graboids there. He then becomes the main character of the franchise in part 3. He knows how to kill graboids. He knows how to kill shriekers and ass blasters. All 3 different evolutions of the Tremors. He also knows how to kill the ones that are in Africa and in the snow and all these other different versions of them. Because they're all over the world and they're different everywhere.
So, talking about some more of his skills, he has a massive arsenal. He is a adept survivalist. He can live on, army packet food rations for forever. He's good with explosives. He is good at figuring out how to hunt different kinds of game. He is really hard to kill. He has been blown up, eaten, you name it, it's happened to him, ass blasted, and he still comes out the other end, even though, his in, his 70s?
He had to been up there.
Yeah. He gave birth to he fathered Jamie Kennedy's character and managed to survive that. Probably
he was
the scariest thing
swallowed by a graboid, dragged underground for miles, managed to kill the graboid, and climb out of the ground. Well, I mean, he helped someone dig him out, but he has a walkie-talkie, at least to tell them to come on and dig me out of the ground. So he's survived a lot.
Rich says, Bert is my boy!
He also survived being married and divorced by Reba McEntire, so that's got to take a toll on you.
Exactly. But yeah, he is massively skilled with weapons. He is massively adept at hunting graboids. And checking in with the chat, Bert's skills, all of the things, says Rich. And he killed multiple creatures in the Tremors TV show, too. And he's gone in a lot of different environments to hunt Tremors, too. He's gone to Africa. I think they go to some, ice place in one of them.
Yep.
An island in one of them. He's been in all the places. He is a tough, tough guy. So...
even his ancestor was apparently killing graboids before they existed in the modern day.
It's just in his blood, man. It's in his blood.
Yep.
So, Bert versus Creighton Duke. Who would win?
I'm going to give Creighton Duke some edge on knowing how to hunt humans. Because he did hunt serial killers, so this is kind of more his game. Where Bert hunts creatures and stuff, but I'm going to give a lot of different things to Bert. One, he survived a lot more. He's done more impossible things. He also has a way better arsenal, especially when it comes to long range and short range. He's a much better survivalist. He might not be better combat and hand-to-hand wise against other humans. I'm not sure about that. It really...
I think Creighton's got the hand-to-hand.
I do believe Creighton
he can
probably,
choke out someone, body. I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah, I think he'd probably in a fist fight kick Bert's ass, but this is a death battle with their weapons that they have.
Here's how it goes down. So Bert and Creighton, they cross paths. Jason has gone into graboid territory, and Bert's saying, you need to get the hell out of here, because this is graboid territory. And Creighton's like, that's like a little girl putting her... he says some stupid weird thing and doesn't leave. So Bert's like, I have no choice but to get rid of you. So what happens? Creighton's like, oh, you're going to get rid of me? No, you're not. Punches him out. Boom, Bert's on the floor. Boom, boom, Bert's on the ground. Walks away all satisfied with himself. Bert gets back up because that's what Bert Gummer does. Puts his hat back on. Loads himself up with, you name it, he got it. TNT, dynamite, he got it. Guns. And I think, Creighton's confidence is going to be the end of him. Because he's going to turn his back on Bert. I think he's not going to see him as an opponent. And I think Bert's going to blow him sky high.
I can see. Even if he, was going in for the kill just on that beatdown, Bert would have enough on him. Like flash grenades, taser, whatever. He could get away from him and make some space. And once there is some space, he would hunt Creighton Duke like he is the big game hunt.
I think
he has enough tools.
Just for fun, do you think Bert Gummer could win a fight, or at least survive a fight against Jason from Jason Goes to Hell?
Yeah, definitely survive it.
I mean, honestly, Jason in that movie is basically a little tiny graboid that hops into different bodies.
Yeah, well, it's not the best Jason movie, to be honest with you.
Hey, that's what we gotta work with
exactly. Here. I don't know if he would be able to straight up kill him, but he couldn't do any worse than the military did in the beginning of that movie, and they blew him to bits. You know, if a doctor didn't eat his heart, then it wouldn't have went all that. I think he could at least do that.
Here's what I think would happen. So he's going up against Jason. He's like, whoa, I don't kill people. What's going on? I hunt graboids. And then Jason does this thing where he's like going to try and shave Bert or something. And Bert's like, oh, dude, back up. Don't touch the stash. And then he kicks him back. And then the Jason slug pops out of Jason's mouth. And he's like, what? Looks like a baby graboid. My kind of territory. And he blows it sky high.
He has enough artillery to reduce Jason to shreds, which Jason would eventually come back from, because we know Jason always comes back eventually. But it would be enough for Bert to survive the encounter, I think. He also has plenty of great surveillance, so...
Oh, I haven't been doing this. So, oh, nuts, I didn't do this. So, going back to our first fight, in case you missed it, Sam and Dean were the winners.
There you go.
There you go. And on this one, we have 7 votes. I'm going to vote for Bert.
I haven't voted yet, so give me some time to vote.
Creighton Duke, one bad mofo. Bert Gummer, a bad mofo who hunts giant slugs. Do you think Creighton Duke could take out a graboid?
Not particularly, no. He'd have to research it, maybe if he could. But as the Creighton Duke that we already know, I don't think he could. I don't think he would know how to experience that.
Thank you, Rich, for sharing. Sharing is caring.
I think he has the ability to learn how to, but I don't think Bert would need to learn anything to survive Jason Voorhees. I think he could survive him. Like I said, Jason always comes back, so killing is one thing, but he could destroy Jason enough and get away. Creighton would actually have to learn more about graboids before I could say he could take one out. Because what he normally carries on him, from what I've seen in that movie and anything else I've ever seen him, anything that he's got on him is not going to work on a graboid.
I feel like Rich really figured it out here they both have killer mustaches.
They do.
This is the fight of the stash. Who will win? Look at that freaking bandolier. What are you, Chewbacca, Bert Gummer? Yeah, boy.
So, yeah, like I said, I would give Creighton Duke the hand-to-hand, but Bert would have everything else, and I think if you add all the scenarios, he would win more times than lose.
Here's the thing. I think Creighton Duke is a very tough guy. I don't know if he would necessarily know immediately how to take out a tremor or even have the right kind of equipment to, like explosives and stuff. But I do think a tremor could eat Creighton Duke, and Creighton Duke would come out, one way or another, Creighton Duke would come out.
Yeah, one way or another.
One way or another, he would come out alive and kicking.
I mean, Creighton Duke.
Exactly. He would come out in the Tremors Duke.
Who left a Duke in the urinal?
Okay, I'm calling it because, let's see, we got, how many people are watching? I don't know. I can't tell how many people are watching. Let me see.
I had 16 a little bit.
13. So 12 votes, pretty respectable. I'm calling it. The winner is Bert Gummer. Woo!
He just has way too many weapons. He knows how to use them all so well.
So many weapons. So you know what that means? What's going to happen to Bert Gummer? Oh, he's going down to the next round, brah.
Expert sniper, expert demolition. He knows too much about how the stuff he uses.
There we go. Going to the next one.
I mean, in a boxing match, yeah, I'd give it to Creighton, but this is a death battle with all their tools. He's got so many deadly tools. I mean,
so the next fight is the one I was most looking forward to in this one. Now, I feel bad because I feel like a lot of people aren't that familiar with both of our opponents. But I'm going to do my best to break it down for you real good. Okay, who do we got? Dun, dun, dun. All right. We're going to start with...
your girl.
My girl. Buffy Summers. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She is a badass. Buffy can do so many things. So for this, again, rules... Sticking with the television show, there's not a whole lot of differences, but there are a few minor ones, and we are going to consider, since that's canon with the comics, the season 8 through, I think, 11 comics, those are all canon with that. So, what can't Buffy do? Buffy has superhuman strength ever since she became activated as a Slayer when she's about 16. She has superhuman senses to a degree. She has fast reflexes, more so in the movie she did, but she does, to a degree, she is more aware of, like, things around her and stuff. Like, you know, not, like, vampire level, but, you know, she can, like, she has enhanced healing, but it's not like Wolverine. It's in, like, her wound would close up in half the time, like yours or mine would. They mentioned that at the end of season 2. He's like, oh, it's already closed when she's gotten stabbed. So she never gets sick. It's really weird when she does get sick. Yeah, Ariel, Buffy the fucking Vampire Slayer.
It takes some sort of supernatural thing to make her sick.
Yeah,
usually.
She gets sick during the show, and she'd never been sick before. If she gets a broken bone, it's going to be set and healed in less than half the time it would be for, like, your eye.
Yeah, kind of like Unbreakable.
So it's not quite like Wolverine level,
no,
but her supernatural senses aren't quite like vampire level, but they are more so than a normal human. She is a skilled gymnast. We talked about this on the last one. She's a skilled gymnast, and she uses that to her advantage. If there's a vampire up on the stage she needs to get to, she will do a flip to get up there to get there in half the time. She will do a flip or something to add more impact to it. She's also super strong. She's less than 5 feet tall, but she has the strength of, like, she's as strong as any of the vampires.
She can kick a door down. She can pick up a lot of stuff. Like, maybe not incredible Hulk strength, obviously, but she can still, like...
She's really strong.
Especially up against, like, a normal human. Like, she could easily crush your hand with a handshake. She could do a lot.
She has to, like, in school gym, she has to really work to not hurt other people.
Yeah, I mean, if she really wanted to kick Cordelia's head off, she could.
She's tireless. She has incredible stamina. We find that out, especially during season 7. You know what I mean?
Well, she, like, she thinks she kills a human when she breaks the John Ritter bot.
Yeah.
But he's a robot, and she still, like, crushed him. And she thought it was human, so she felt really bad.
And they say it's not the first time that's happened with a Slayer, because Slayers are really strong. Mm-hmm. She's also skilled in a multitude of weapons. In crossbows, the only weapon she's not skilled with is firearms, because Buffy does not like guns. So we're going to talk about that a little bit when we get into the weaknesses, but she has a scythe that's badass, obviously extremely skilled with stakes, with swords, with a crossbow, with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I was about to say, there is an exception to the gun with rocket launcher. She will bazooka your ass.
Yeah, so we're not using the movie Zigma, so we're not doing the cramps thing, but that is one of her supernatural abilities in that movie. But just because that's one of the differences, there is slight differences there, so they kind of rebooted her a bit.
Those vamps don't turn to dust either.
Yeah. Let's see. One of the things that sets her apart from other Slayers is that she isn't emotionless. So her, like, passion for her friends and the things she cares about do drive her a lot farther. But going into her weaknesses, if things are going bad for Buffy, like, you know, her heart got broken and that wasn't quite enough. But when her sister is taken, she's catatonic. She can't do anything. She is a human person. You know, she has feelings, and that's what they say at the end of season 2. If you want to hurt Buffy, you got to get at her heart. You got to get at her emotions. If you break her down emotionally, it's extremely hard to do. You know, she sent her lover to hell, and she managed to get back up. So it takes a lot. It takes, like, her sister being taken from her. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
But if you can break her down emotionally, that'll do it. Also, she's mortal. She can heal pretty quickly from a lot of things, but if you shoot her in the heart, she can die. She was shot towards the end of season 6, and she almost died. Darla figures that out in season 1. She's like, shoot her. If you shot her in the head, she would die.
Well, those the 3 nerds basically that were her like enemy there for a while. One of them lost his shit, went to her yard and shot her, and that's how he killed Tara, isn't it?
Though it's not super easy to get her with a gun. People have shot at her countless times,
especially if she's expecting it.
And she was only she's only actually been shot once because again, she's got all those gymnastic skills. She's really quick on her reflexes. Good luck actually shooting her. You would have to be extremely skilled at shooting shooting anybody that's extremely fast and has incredible reflexes. She's also she's gone to heaven. She's been in the hellmouth. She's gone through a lot of stuff. She's survived a lot of stuff. She's died. Technically she's died twice, but she's had all these things happen to her. She's in the comics even more stuff. Like, we won't get into that in super detail, but yeah, she leads a whole like rebellion of Slayer, so she's got leadership abilities. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a lot that Buffy can do.
And even we wouldn't probably count it, but at one point she gets powers enough to where she has sex in space and crashes to Earth and wants another round. But that's a little uber Buffy.
Now I feel bad because it's been a while since I've read the Hack / comic, so that is Buffy's opponent.
I've only dabbled in Hack /
So, all right. So this is Buffy's opponent. This is Cassie Hack. There we go. Cassie Hack. So I'm really sad that we've never gotten a Hack / show or movie. They always say we're gonna get a Hack / show,
still waiting
and then we never get a Hack / show. So it's kind of a bummer.
She's crossed over with a lot of people, though, right?
Rich had a really good point. Buffy is vulnerable to magic. That's another thing. You can put a spell on Buffy and it will work.
Yeah.
Very good point there, Rich.
Xander put a love spell on her at one point.
Yeah. So she's very, very tough, but, she's not invulnerable.
Yeah.
Cassie Hack is very similar to Buffy in a lot of ways. Cassie found out basically that her mom, the lunch lady, is a slasher. In her world, a slasher like Jason or something, that's like almost like a species. Like, they're just these killer beings that come back. She has gone up against Reanimator. Mm-hmm. She's gone against Chucky. It doesn't count in this battle, but she usually has a big sidekick named Vlad who helps her out a lot. Cassie is human, so she's mortal, so you can shoot her and stuff too, but she's come back from a lot, like nearly dying numerous times in the comics. She has a little bit of martial arts training, and unlike Buffy, she can use a handgun. She's done that before, and she's resourceful.
She teamed up with Ash before.
Oh, yeah, she teamed up with Ash. So let's see, some more of her abilities. I'm going to look up some of them just so we give her a fair shake. Weapons. So, yeah, she's got guns, which Buffy doesn't have. And like Buffy, she does have superhuman strength. And she does have a regenerative healing factor. And she has berserker rage. So in that state, she lashes out with intensity and aggression like a rabid animal. And that's something that slashers can do. So think about like when Jason can burst through a door. Like in the game especially, he gets like rage mode.
Exactly.
She has a rage mode where it's like she's super enhanced for a short burst for a short period of time.
She, other than her life choice, she would be a slasher, and we probably would have put her in there, but she doesn't choose to live her life like a slasher. But she has their abilities. Yeah. Slashers always come back. I know something about that, obviously.
I always thought it would be cool to actually see Buffy and Cassie team up, because they have a lot in common, but Cassie's personality is more like Faith, but not quite as dour or dark. Like, Cassie's hilarious. Cassie and Vlad just, like, sit around and laugh at fart jokes and stuff. Like, Cassie's pretty chill, considering she's lost a lot of friends. She loses her best friend at one point. She's seen a lot of people go, but Cassie, like Buffy, she has a way of keeping her spirits up. of finding a way back, of maintaining that inner strength. But just like Buffy, she's at her weakest when her emotions are played with. Like, when she does lose somebody. There's been a couple times there where, especially when she teamed up with Ash, she had just lost somebody.
Yeah. I do think Cassie would be more quick to kill, especially another human. Though, and this is a hypothetical, and as we said, slashers are not technically human, so Buffy could, if that applied to her world as well, she would kill slashers.
This is a tough one, so let's talk about who we think would win.
Well, if we were going Uber Buffy, she would have no chance. But the base form Buffy that we usually have, it's actually pretty hard to say. I give Cassie the range with weapons because she'll use guns, but
but Cassie doesn't ever I don't think Cassie ever uses a crossbow. And Buffy's used a rocket launcher.
I know. But handgun is quicker than a rocket launcher usually. However,
that's true.
I will give Buffy the edge on close counters because she is better at martial arts. She is a gymnast. She was, trained by a watcher. I think she's a little better at the hand-to-hand, even though they are fairly close on all the things. I think they're fairly close on all the things. I'd say Buffy has probably a little more experience dealing with certain things that Cassie hasn't dealt with. But not a lot. Cassie does have good experience as well, but I'm still give it to Buffy a little bit more.
Here's what I think. I think it's a pretty close fight. What Cassie has that Buffy doesn't have is she does have that berserker rage. So I think they're going to get into a fight much like Buffy and Faith did. And I think it's going to get pretty nasty. And then I think Cassie is going to do her berserker rage thing and get the upper hand. However, Buffy is really quick at thinking on her feet. And they're both mortal. However, Buffy is going to have a harder time killing a human being.
But she's a slasher, technically.
That's true. But, I mean, even other things that are half human, like werewolves and stuff, are harder for them. But let's just say, for the sake of this one,
For the sake of death battle, they have to try and kill each other.
For the sake of this one, we're going to a KO, because Buffy would never kill her. And I don't think Cassie would either. They're both heroes.
Yeah. I don't know if her berserker
and
mode...
Buffy has evaded bullets plenty of times. At one point, Darla had 2 handguns and was shooting at her a whole bunch, and Buffy was ducking under pool tables. Buffy was able to get away.
Plus, if we were going to use Uber Buffy, not only can she dodge bullets, but she can run alongside a bullet, read what's on it, and then get in front of it, catch it, and tell you what was written on it.
Let's not use the comics, actually, just because. So,
even though Cassie's all comics.
We're not using Uber Buffy.
I know.
That's a different Buffy altogether.
I know.
Just to keep it simple for them, because they may not be familiar with Buffy.
She's dodged bullets regardless. If she knows that you're trying to shoot her.
What I'm going to say is she can evade bullets. The only time she was ever shot was after something really bad happened to her, and she was already beat up and emotionally wounded. And so someone came up and just shot her. And
not even a super-powered villain, just some asshole.
Yeah. If it had been any other day, she would have been okay. But that particular day, she survived something really awful the night before that I won't get into, just for triggering reasons. But, yeah, if it had been any other day, Buffy would have gotten away. Buffy, she tells people, she's had lots of people shoot at her. She's had cops shoot at her. And I've seen her grab someone's gun and be like, I hate these things, and get rid of them.
Yeah. She's taken on robots and demons and all kinds of things. Cassie mostly takes on slashers. I don't know how much other than that she's taken on, to be honest. But I don't know. I honestly think that there's plenty of reasons why they could both win, but I'm going to give it to Buffy.
It's a tough one, because Cassie does have berserker rage. Cassie does handguns, but I don't think the handgun's going to help her. It's just a handgun. She would have to get a lethal shot in Buffy, because Buffy is going to heal quickly from a shot to the arm or something. She would have to get her in the heart. Even when Buffy was shot in the heart, she still healed. She was taken to the hospital and she healed. I've seen a lot of people shoot at Buffy. I've only seen one person hit her on a bad day, and even that didn't kill her. So I'm going to say the bullet's not going to help.
And also, I don't know if the Berserker Rage would help because she's kind of a rabid animal at that point, and I think Buffy would actually do better against her in that state.
Buffy has gone against werewolves and stuff that are equally rabid. Buffy's gone against a wider range of opponents than Cassie has. And it's a tough one, but I'm going to say Buffy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm giving her the slight edge.
It's a tough one, but I do think just tactically, Buffy, like, she has the ability to, like, lead an army and stuff. Like, I love Cassie, but I don't think Cassie could do that. Buffy knows how to go into battle. She knows how to go into war and come out the other end. So I'm going to say Buffy. But, yeah, Cassie's a badass. Cassie is definitely a badass.
And so I want a movie. I want a movie or a show or something. Even an anime would be great, too. Just an animated comic book version. I just want something. I want more than what we got with Cassie Hack. I think that's a property that could be expanded upon. I
would love a show. Cassie's just so cool, and she's just such a unique character, and she's not at all, for anyone who doesn't want a character who, like, looks perfect and stuff. Like, Cassie's always covered in blood and ripped up. I mean, she looks like she survived a horror movie in every issue. But, yeah, she's tough as nails. She's awesome. She's a little goth. I love her. But, yeah, I've got 13 votes. Dun, dun, dun. 13 people watching. I'm going to call it. It was a close one. But Buffy got it. Do you think she deserved it?
Hopefully.
Cassie put up a good fight.
It would be a good fight either way.
The winner is Buffy!
Cassie never had sex in space and fell to Earth and crashed to a mountain.
Well, I thought we agreed we were going to count the comics.
I'm saying that now because it's over.
But yeah, in the comics, she does some insane stuff. Like, I was thinking about all the stuff, and I was like, yeah, we probably can't count that because it's just not fair. Even though
at her strongest, at her very strongest, she is like Supergirl light. And that's why I'd love to see her go up against Alice from Resident Evil on the actual death battle thing, because I think they have very similarities with her army of slayers and Alice's army of clones. And Alice at her very strongest is like Jean Grey light, so I'd love to see that go.
And it was hard. I love Cassie, but anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I think that was pretty fair. What do you think?
Yeah, you pitched Cassie pretty well, despite the fact that I know that you have a bias towards Buffy.
We try to be fair here. We try to be fair. Well done, Buffy. And I think we're actually doing good time this time, even though I started late. But I think we're making pretty good time. Yeah. All right. So who is up next? Oh, I thought this was gonna be closer to the end. Hey, X-Tron Gaming, what's happening? Ow, 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 ow. Ooh. There you go. You get hyped when you howl. We need Creepy's energy this week.
Let's find out what's happening in the shadows.
Hot? I'm hot.
Yeah, you're always hot.
No, I'm like warm. Hit me with that fan, bro. Oh, I guess I just went up. All right. It's just so noisy. If the fan's too loud, let me know. But it is hot in here.
I don't know. It should be.
It's set to cool.
Nice. All right, I was talking to my Alexa. Okay, for the next fight. Now, this one, we actually got some research in over the weekend, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
We did, because we got... Actually, there's a new episode. Did you not?
Yeah, the newest one.
Fuck yeah. I love Guillermo. I call him Gizmo.
He is the descendant of Van Helsing, actually.
He is the descendant of Van Helsing, and that's going to make this really hard. We are going to have to set some... hold on, I'm gonna check in with the chat really quick. So, Rich says, Cassie can regenerate and has superhuman strength. So does Buffy. Oh, sweet. Rich says you can't hear the fan. Sorry, I get distracted. Okay. And Ariel says Buffy was her favorite show. It's my favorite show. Alright, but I'm not distracted anymore. Guillermo, better known as Gizmo.
He is a hell of a fighter, to be honest. He doesn't start off as much, but he... First off, starts killing vampires by accident. Finds out that he actually is Van Helsing's descendant, and it just all comes super naturally to him. And
why is this sad for him?
It's sad for him because he wants to be a vampire more than anything. He's actually a familiar that's trying to learn, hoping that his master will turn him into a vampire. And he does get upgraded from just familiar to bodyguard, where he's actually the bodyguard of 3 vampires that he lives, well, 4 if you count an energy vampire that he lives with. And yeah, they still treat him kind of like he's the butler, but he could kick at least most of their asses. In fact, he's beaten his master in combat more than once.
He is really strong. He, without trying to, kicks vampires. He's not even trying to. We saw him against other humans in a familiar fight in a recent episode, and he's trying not to hurt anybody, and effortlessly he is.
Mm-hmm.
He can kill vampires like it's no man's business without even breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
So you might look at him and might be like, he's a little doughy, he's a little short. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
Mm-hmm.
He has lightning fast reflexes. He is good with all kinds of weapons, including a feather duster.
Mm-hmm.
He's also very aware of his surroundings.
Yeah.
He is impossible to sneak up on.
He can flip around do handstands on cars. He doesn't look like he has the body to be that agile, but he does. He can actually gain a lot of height in his jumps.
By the way, if you guys are not watching What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, you are missing out. It is so funny.
But yeah, like I said, he's actually bested his own master a couple of times in combat. He is mortal. He could be killed, hypothetically, by anything that would kill a human. But he is way quicker and faster and stronger than he looks. And damn, he's very proficient. He can throw stakes very quickly.
Oh, yeah, like perfect aim.
Yeah.
Perfect aim.
You have to be basically as fast as a vampire to catch those stakes and be kind of expecting him, because he's killed so many of them that just underestimated it completely.
Without trying.
Yeah, a lot of them, granted, a lot of the vampires that he kills are underestimating. They don't think he has any chance of hurting them, and even without trying, he does end up killing them. And when he does try, yeah, it's easier to kill them.
Weaknesses. He really wants to be a vampire.
Yeah.
But that still hasn't stopped him. He's not super easily manipulated.
No. He gets embarrassed by things. I guess things embarrass him. That's kind of a weakness.
Let's talk about his opponent. Now, this is hard because this is the person that Guillermo descended from. So you could say a lot of his abilities come from Van Helsing. Van Helsing is an expert vampire hunter.
Yeah.
We'll have to have some parameters here. So we're not going to do every Van Helsing ever. I'll count Van Helsing from the movie Van Helsing. Van Helsing from Dracula. Any of the Dracula movies. The Hammer ones or the Universal ones. Any other Van Helsings of note?
What about the duck one from Duckula?
No. No. But we're not going to count like the Helsing anime or anything like that. So Helsing is extremely adept with weapons. A lot of times in the movies he's an older gentleman, but he can still go up against Dracula. He, in most of these movies, kills Dracula. Sometimes he's Peter Cushing, which is pretty rad.
Yeah, he's taken on werewolves and other things too, depending on, like, especially the Van Helsing movie. I would say Guillermo would have no problem destroying the original old man who kills Dracula off camera Helsing, but he's been revamped obviously since then, and yeah, he's a badass as well. He has great hand-to-hand combat. He's proficient with a whip and other weapons, as you can see there. He knows how to kill most of the undead and armies of the sort.
Especially counting that movie, he doesn't go up just against vampires. He goes against werewolves, lots of different things. So he's not limited to just vampires. So I think a lot of people are familiar with Van Helsing. He is a mortal man who studied himself. And he's not born with any special reflexes or anything. I think he's just built it up. But I think he built up enough that he's able to just pass something on down to Guillermo.
I think by the time that movie came out, it's kind of a very, like, Castlevania Simon's Quest, where they're just that good. They're just better than people, even though they are human and they are mortal. He is also mortal. He can be killed mortal ways.
So this is a tough one. It's like the teacher, the student, not technically, but the descendant. I have an unpopular theory.
Well, it's like Kung Lao and Liu Kang.
I think Guillermo could win.
Honestly, I think he might be able to.
Here's what I think. One, I think Van Helsing, he looks like a warrior. Okay, maybe not in all incarnations. Sometimes he's an older, especially in the original Dracula, he's an older guy.
It's an old man.
But, he also has the name and stuff, too. People know. like Van Helsing. He's a badass.
Right.
You know, sometimes he's what's this butt? Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think he would underestimate Gizmo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody does.
Everybody underestimates Gizmo. He wears the cute little sweaters. He's
Classes.
very, very shy.
Does not have the
very
body of
meek,
a warrior, but somehow
does not
is.
have the body of a warrior. I think he would underestimate him, and I think that could give Gizmo an edge. Here is the other thing. Gizmo has, like, just inherited, you know, that natural ability, which Van Helsing didn't start with. So Gizmo's inherited this ability, and he just is building on top of it with his own experience and skills.
Mhm.
Van Helsing only has what he was able to accomplish in his lifetime. Gizmo hasn't even begun to train, and he's already effortlessly that good.
Yeah. He's got
I've seen Van Helsing get his ass handed to him quite a few times. I've never seen Gizmo get his ass handed to him.
Not really. He's been grabbed and threatened by his master in some other situations where he didn't have the confidence at the time to even try to react, but anytime it's actually been a fight, yeah, he wins.
I think Gizmo's got some more inside information, at least on vampires, too, just because he's been living with them. for
I'll
so
also
long.
give him this. He's modern day. He's more equipped with modern abilities and technologies and knows more about the world in a modern sense.
That's true. Van Helsing is limited to the weapons and stuff of his time period.
Yeah. Which are still very dangerous because of the way he's good with them, but
they're dangerous in his hands,
Mhm.
but it's not going to compare to things that Gizmo can grab.
And Gizmo wouldn't need only weapons that could kill vampires to defeat Van Helsing. Also, in the scenario, let's say Van Helsing has somehow traveled to the future and he's going to kill Gizmo's master. Gizmo would...
Gizmo would not tolerate that.
Yeah, that's the one time where Gizmo would kill humans. He's actually gotten humans killed before for rest of things. He even kind of
I feel like Gizmo would try not to kill him. He'd
No.
try to stop him from killing his master, and he'd accidentally kill him.
But if he...
Because that's just Gizmo.
If he really had to, and like you said, it'd probably be an accident of some sort.
Team Old Dude Vampire Killer. Team Old Dude Vampires going on strong. It's so good to see my buddy Patrick here. I am so sorry, Patrick, that I've been missing your streams as of late. If you missed the beginning of this one, I have had kind of a rough week with being sick and stuff. Long story. You can watch the beginning of the stream for that. But yeah, absolutely, I want to catch up on those soon. If you didn't know, Have Cheetah Wolview has a movie stream that happens right before mine, 2 hours before mine on Sundays, so do check that out. Mummy says, Team Old Dude Vampire Killer. So, Rich says, Gizmo for me. Van Helsing has a lot of help. That is true. He does, in all of Dracula movies, he works with a team. There's also, Quincy. There's a lot of other people that help him. I think in the Hammer movies, Peter Cushing's is able to hold his own.
Yeah.
A bit more. And then, obviously, Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing is pretty proficient. But he does have Kate Beckinsale.
He does. Where Gizmo's help would be more of a hindrance.
Yeah.
They don't help him. They actually... his master even gets him into predicaments where Gizmo has to fight his way out of it because his master put him in that problem. It was just kind of accidental. They're dumbass vampires that he protects. And they bring a lot of trouble. What's her name especially? She could hold her own, but usually the other two are just kind of there. And Colin Robinson is one of my favorite as well. Gory's finally really warming up to him this season.
Baby Colin Robinson. He's like baby Groot.
Yeah, and he's not much help in a fight usually, other than
No.
when he does what he does. But yeah, Gizmo's usually more. He doesn't have help. He has people who usually are more of a problem for him, and he has to fight out of it.
I just feel like he's able to do all this without even breaking a sweat, without even trying, without even it's just he's naturally gifted.
He is becoming a lot more confident.
He's like the Goodwill Hunting of kicking ass.
Yes.
I mean, right?
Yes.
You know that impossible equation? Nobody can do this. And then janitor, Goodwill Hunting, boom, like that. That's Gizmo with kicking ass.
Yeah, when he's in that familiar fight, and they're like, okay, well, what's going to happen when all these vampires see me slaughter this big, buff, evil, burly vampire? And then they're like, oh, they're going to freak out because... we should do it instead. We'll pretend to fight, and I'll just beat you in seconds, because that'd be realistic. He's like, would it, though? And then ends up being a real fight between the two of them. But yeah, they all underestimate him, and he doesn't really ever try.
Let us know in the chat who you're voting for. I'm voting for Gizmo. I think Guillermo's got an edge here. I think he's got everything Van Helsing has, but he's got it kind of inherited, and he's, also has the advantage of being underestimated.
Underestimated, and like I said, modern technologies.
Modern technology, and he also does not have to work as hard to do what Van Helsing does, because he's just born with it.
Though, I totally see why anybody would vote for Van Helsing.
He's a legend. This is a tough one. I'm still voting for Guillermo.
I want Guillermo, but I can see why people would vote for Van Helsing. And honestly, there's plenty. Depends on the movie and the scenario.
And Guillermo, not only that, there's a really big bad vampire, like one of the oldest. He'd be kind of the equivalent of Dracula in season 3.
Yeah.
And Guillermo, without meaning to, kills him.
Yeah, and
he can oopsie kill the big bad.
Yeah, he oopsie kills a lot of things, but yeah, he oopsie kills the big bad. Also, it implies in What We Do in the Shadows that someone eventually did kill Van Helsing because they pickled his penis.
Wait, what?
Remember, his penis is in the museum that and they're like, they want to hold your ancestor's penis. So someone has removed Van Helsing's penis, and I assume it's in a vampire museum. A vampire eventually killed him.
I've always wanted to have a horror museum of dongs. Like the dong from Tusk, Van Helsing's pickled penis, just famous dongs from movies, the reanimated dong from Beyond Reanimator.
So,
I don't know if anyone would go to that, but I would.
Somehow,
it is tied up right now.
Somehow a vampire got a hold of Van Helsing's penis, and it's now pickled and kept in a museum. So, he either died, or they just removed his penis. I don't know. But
he's also, Guillermo's younger.
He is younger.
The youngest Van Helsing I've seen is Hugh Jackman's. But Guillermo is a lot younger. And, I think that could help. I think he absolutely, okay, without a doubt, let's go through our Van Helsings here. He's going to kick the one from Bela Lugosi's Dracula's ass.
Oh, any of those old ones. Any of the old man versions of
Peter Cushing is badass. It would be a fight. I still think Guillermo's going to kill him. Anthony Hopkins... Like, he couldn't have done that without Quincy and the rest of those guys. Mm-hmm. The only one I think is going to really give him a run for his Guillermo money is Hugh Jackman's. Because he's kind of like the uber badass Van Helsing. Yeah, he's younger. He's sexier. He has tight pants. I mean, who's going to win in a does my butt look good in these pants contest? Absolutely Hugh Jackman in any movie. I just saw him in The Prestige, and I'm still gonna vote for his butt. He was weird in that movie.
Yeah, a bunch of clones.
They all had good butts. They all did.
They're pickled too, just like Van Helsing's
pickled,
penis.
Exactly. Pickled. There's a theme here. But Guillermo, like,
But sure.
Hey, Dice is here. Dice, we're arguing on who would win, Van Helsing or Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
There is no wrong answer.
There is no wrong answer.
I think you finally had your tiebreaker.
My dear friend would agree that on the Hugh Jackman front.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Dice is very sophisticated. I'm saying Guillermo, guys. Guillermo's your wild card, okay? It's effortless. He doesn't even have to have all the weapons that Van Helsing has. He would accidentally knock a chair over and accidentally stab Van Helsing. He's got, like, uber luck on his side. Like, it's just natural. And when he tries to fight, lightning fast, dude. Lightning fast. Yeah. Like a rabid weasel.
Like I said, just does cartwheels onto cars like nothing. Shooting stakes as he does it too. So.
I think Guillermo could put up a fight with Buffy. In fact, if he wins this round, he would get to go against Buffy.
But I don't think he's going to.
I'm really sad. I'm kind of hoping it ties up again. It's really close.
How many people you got watching?
I've spent much time with you, Dice. You're very sophisticated. 13 people.
Some people came in to vote and then they left.
No fucking way, really?
Apparently.
Whoa.
You got more votes than people watching currently, so.
Whoa, dude.
I think that is your tiebreaker. I think Dice broke it. You sold her on that. Hugh Jackman, but.
Zigma, when have you ever seen Guillermo eat fast food? He doesn't eat anything because there's no food in the house.
Yeah, they don't feed him much.
They don't feed him. He eats like gummy bears and stuff.
And I think when they did, they gave him a bunch of raw chicken. Feed
They
him.
did! Oh my god, they did! They gave him raw chicken!
They're like, here, humans like to eat chicken, right? And they just threw a bunch of raw chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they kept him in a cage for a while, but he was
Dice
actually
Dice-
escaping his cage. But they like would feed him raw chicken when he was in the cage because they realized he was such a dangerous vampire hunter. But he could easily escape the cage when they weren't around and just put himself back in it.
That's true. He's very crafty.
They were
Dice
just feeding
says
him raw
bunch of Hugh Jackman simps in the chat. And Dice says they didn't do it.
Oh, well. But I think that's your win.
Really? Really?
Oh, well.
I'm sad, man. I'm sad. This one hurts me. This one hurts me.
It is probably going to be the two most famous vampire slayers going against each other, though.
All right. And your winner is... Dun, 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 dun. Announce it, Danny.
Van Helsing.
Are you going to give him a victory dance?
No.
I can't. I'm sad.
Just
My
imagine
mom,
Hugh
my mummy voted
Jackman's
for Peter
butt.
Cushing.
Hugh Jackman doing the butt dance. Butt.
Come on now, more margaritas.
More margaritas. Go watch Tusk if you haven't.
Oh gosh. All right. Oh my goodness. Where is Lols?
Lols, we're doing Mystery Inc.
The things we say in this house.
Right.
Is he gonna help us? Because he said he had a really great argument.
Let's wait till we get to the argument part. He might show up in the
Should
chat.
we do the other one first?
Sure.
All right, you go let him know.
I'm gonna get a new drink while I'm at it.
Oh, me too.
You want a 7 and whiskey? Whiskey and 7?
Oh wait, I have a Dr. Pepper.
Is that all you want?
Oh, all the drinks.
One of each.
All of Mystery Inc. dice, all of it. But first, dun 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 dun. So let's review our bracket. Dun 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 dun. So far, Sam and Dean Winchester have won, and they're going into the next round. Bert Gummer won his fight against Creighton Duke, and will be facing off against the Winchesters. Buffy the Vampire Slayer beat Cassie Hack, and sadly, Van Helsing beat Guillermo de la Cruz. Next up, we have Mystery Inc. versus the Monster Squad, Constantine versus Nick from Grimm, the Ghostbusters versus the Frog Brothers, and Ash Williams versus Abraham Lincoln, our dang president. Like one of them, like an old one, back in the day. Dice says, y'all know I feel people severely sleep on Shaggy. It's a bit upsetting. Go Van Helsing. No, Dusty, why? What's going on with my bangs today, guys? All right. So, I'm going to go to our next one, which is... Where'd it go? There it is. The Monster Squad. I almost wore my Monster Squad shirt today, but I had to go with Buffy. Ariel says, so the new Scooby-Doo prequel Holiday Haunt is coming out in December. That's true. Also, there is a really good, well, I like it anyway, and Lulz likes it, a Scooby-Doo show called Mystery Incorporated that's on YouTube. Like, not the animated one. It's a live-action one. It's kind of like Riverdale if Riverdale wasn't so weird. Hey, baby. Is he watching?
He's gonna go sign on right now.
Sweet. Guys, that's my mummy. Come on now, more margaritas. I have to wait for Danny to get back.
Here's your Dr. Pepper.
Thanks, baby. All right, so it's the Monster Squad. I feel like this is your area of expertise.
Well, they have proficient knowledge on how to kill pretty much any monster that's come out from old times to
Also,
at least
the
the
whole
80s.
Monster Squad, including the little girl.
And including Frankenstein, an honorary member.
He is an honorary member, yes.
So you have Frankenstein's monster. Big, strong, slow. Frankenstein's monster. Not too bright, but...
Only their Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly,
though.
only their version. Not like from I, Frankenstein and stuff, where it gets all crazy. But yeah, your standard Frankenstein's monster. He's big, he's strong, he's slow. He's pretty nice to children, to be honest, but, you know, he's dangerous to anybody who would cross these children. Even picks up Dracula and hurtles him into a portal. But, yeah, you got the kids. They're all good knowledge. Rudy's there pretty good shot with a bow and arrow. He makes silver bullets, so they do have a gun on them with silver bullets as well. Horace, a.k.a. Fat Kid, as he goes by, till the end, where he's like, my name is Horace. He's got a shotgun. They got a little dog. They got a little girl who can read passages because she's a virgin and send, you know, monsters into different portals.
They know a lot about anatomy. They found out that Wolfman's got nards.
They do. They kicked Wolfman in the nards. Not only did they kick him in the nards, they shoved dynamite down his pants and hit him out of a window, and he exploded. But they knew that you couldn't kill Wolfman that way. Wolfman's body regenerated back together and came back after him until they finally shot him with a silver bullet.
They were actually able to get the army to come.
They killed the creature of the Black Lagoon with the shotgun. They, can summon an army by Cran. Not that the army would help them kill people that aren't deserving of being killed, but they can still summon an army by Cran notes. He wrote a, Dear Army, we said monsters are in town, please send the army. And the army showed up. So it is something that they can do. They also kind of foul-mouthed a little bit, a little pervy, but hey, it was the 80s, I guess. They
know a lot about monsters from watching monster movies.
They've killed a mummy. They've sent Dracula back into the portal. They killed his 3 wives. Rudy with his bow and arrow. They killed the Wolfman. They killed the creature Black Lagoon. So they have a body count of monsters that they have hunted and killed. And even though they didn't technically kill Dracula, Van Helsing was summoned with that portal as well. And like I said, Frankenstein threw him into the portal. So, saved the little girl. And Van Helsing was stuck in that portal, and he grabbed Dracula, and they went.
How did they kill the mummy?
They took a bandage of the mummy, tied it to a bow. Rudy shot the tree, and then it unraveled the mummy, and there was nothing left but a skull at that point.
What are their weapons?
Shotgun, bow and arrow, handgun, revolver with silver bullets, dynamite, and that's about it.
I'm going to talk about weaknesses. I do
monster.
remember, it's been a while since I watched the movie again. I've seen it more than once.
Dracula's amulet.
I will say they're horny little kids. They're easily distracted by things like boobs and girls.
Boobs, especially Rudy.
They're, they have kid interests, so I think they can lose interest in things if it's not important to them. They can be distracted.
They're mortal. They die.
They're mortal. They can die.
Human. They have only little kid strength. Rudy's probably pretty strong for a teenager, but the rest of them are weak as in strength-wise. They have, like I said, Horace is wielding a shotgun. Knows how to use it.
Mr. Flickster's here. Say hi.
But the other weakness is that they're kids, not physically all that strong, and can easily be killed.
All right, now...
If you can get old by their Frankenstein monster.
I think somebody is ready to tell us about Mystery Inc. So, Mystery Incorporated. This includes Shaggy, Fred Jones, Scoobert, Scooby-Doo, Velma Dinkley, and Daphne Blake. So, our resident Scooby-Doo expert is here in the chat, Robo Muffin.
Okay, lols.
I think you just, like revealed his secret identity. So, he says, easy, Mystery Inc. I mean, Shaggy and Scooby ran an Olympic race about 10 times in about 10 seconds. Yeah. Plus, if we're counting prep time and video games, they can check out the Tomb of Doom. Oh God, here we go.
Tomb of Doom has power.
I wish he was here. He's too shy. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Mr. Flickster, looking forward to it.
Oh, there. Plug that real quick.
I'm going to be on Mr. Flickster's live stream next Wednesday, I believe, 5 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock Eastern. So there we go. We're going to be talking about Final Girls. And, well, Final People, I think, but yeah, our favorite ones.
I've been calling them survivors.
Survivor people.
I think that works.
I like the term Final Girls.
Then you do what you want to do, baby.
Anyways, it's his
so
stream, so
the Tomb of Doom has the power to suck up any creature in its pages. There's a zombie page, so bye-bye, Frankie. I wish he was here. See if he'll go put on a mask and join us. See if he will, please.
Oh,
I'll try.
I don't want to bother. I'd say what mostly Mystery Incorporated have going for them is their Toon Force. Like, I don't know if they can technically even die. I mean, they can, but for argument's sake, they can. They are cartoons. There are live-action versions of them, so obviously. But if you're gonna count the live-action versions of them, Daphne's like really good at martial arts. She is played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she unleashes her Buffy Summers because she beats up like this giant, roided up luchador in a fight. Fred's good with traps. Fred has made the same type of traps that you would see even in like Predator. So Velma can learn anything that she needs to learn.
They have massive occult knowledge.
They also have a dog who talks and eats a lot, but doesn't poop a lot.
No,
I've never seen any of them stack in dog
incredible metabolism for both him and Shaggy. They eat a lot, never gain a pound.
Yeah.
Super, super fast. Shaggy's also really strong. He can hold a Great Dane.
Yeah, and he's held all other members of Mystery Inc. as well. They've
Velma's done that.
Yeah,
Velma's held every member of Mystery Inc. in her hands.
Still outran what was chasing her.
Yes, they're great at hiding. Scooby and Shaggy are great at what Laws calls Scooby-Dooing, which is where they put on some elaborate thing, like they pretend they're chefs and they make the monster a cake or something, and they get them all distracted and befuzzled.
They sit him down at the restaurant.
And then they're able to get away.
Yeah, they sit him down at the restaurant, bring him food or whatever, and then, like, boom. Yeah.
Weaknesses. They are wholesome as fuck. They would be very caught off guard by swearing little kids and stuff.
I don't know.
They've been shot at and stuff, but nothing quite like a handgun or a shotgun. I don't think. Well, maybe a shotgun.
I think they've been shot at by shotguns from a distance because you've seen like the bullets like hit stuff near them. But,
they're also teenagers. They're a lot bigger than the kids in Mystery in Monster Squad.
Though I think they'd be a lot less hesitant to kill these kids. I think honestly Horace probably could walk up pretty close to them with a shotgun. They'd be pretty unsuspected of what he would do before he would pump it into them.
Another weakness, Shaggy and Scooby are cowards.
Yeah.
But you could also argue that they're very brave because even though they're afraid, they always rush into battle.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have to be bribed.
Yeah, with some Scooby snacks, which they have plenty on hand, so it's not like they couldn't be coerced into this.
Zigma, a couple good points here in the chat. Robo says they have a samurai sword.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Flixter says Shaggy and Scooby have stoner powers.
They do.
Zigma says they're friends with Sam and Dean. That's true, they are.
That is a detriment to them, though, because when they hang out with Sam and Dean, Shaggy actually breaks his arm. He actually breaks his arm and feels pain for like one of the first times in his life. And people like start in their universe actually bleeding and getting killed, so that's a kind of a detriment, to be honest.
They have a bit of Toon Force.
It kind of goes away when they're mixed with real characters. So I guess in this scenario, since they're being mixed with the Monster Squad, who are real characters, those real laws will apply.
Torchbearer says Shaggy can destroy them all using only 1% of his power.
That is the meme version of Shaggy. I don't think
awesome.
We're not counting meme Shaggy. We didn't count Uber Buffy early, so we can't count meme Shaggy. If we can't count Uber Buffy, we can't count meme Shaggy.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But am I?
Regardless of that, yeah, they have.
But that actually is a little bit canon because the meme comes from one of the movies where he like kicks a whole bar of people's asses. So. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Shaggy was a werewolf at one point, reluctantly.
Reluctantly, he was a werewolf at one point. But a silver bullet would have killed him, and they do have silver bullets.
I think, I'm sorry, I think Mystery Inc. gonna mop up those little kids' asses.
I'm giving it to Mystery Inc. as well. But I'm just saying there are things that the Monster Squad would catch them off guard with. But with that...
I think they would be confused by, like, the swearing and the smoking.
The smoking, the swearing, the homophobic slangs, and all the other stuff like that.
Yeah, I honestly think that after they defeat them, they're going to put the Monster Squad in timeout and make them learn some wholesome lessons.
I know Rudy would definitely be saying some derogatory terms towards Daphne and stuff. It would get a little out of control, but eventually, out of all their heights and abilities, Mr. Inc. I think have this.
I think we're going to call it, and the winner...
Oh, I didn't get a vote. I want to vote real quick.
Sorry, you didn't vote.
I was too busy doing other things.
Mystery Inc. is too real. There's real as everybody else in this fight, Mummy. And the winner is Mystery Inc. They won by like 92%. Huh?
Well, poop.
They won by 92%. They won by a lot.
Yeah, I figured.
A lot. Like, I don't think we needed your vote.
They might actually win this whole thing.
So, Mystery Inc. is going on to the next round. Okay, yeah, they're cartoons, but, we've had cartoons in this battle before.
I think we probably should have switched these. Oh, well. It's fine.
Well, I don't know. At the time, it made sense to me. Maybe next time, help me build my card, Mr. Wrestler Man. Wrestler Man, why are you so
Because that way
sexy?
all the groups would be in one. Oh, well.
You wanna? We can skip to the next one, the next group.
No, because it still won't send them there.
I can still change it.
Change it real quick, then.
Fine, you better talk to people.
All right, I'm talking to you people. How we doing tonight? Who's a little sad that we didn't see Horace shoot Fred's head off with a shotgun? I'm a little sad about that. I think there would have been maybe some casualties on both sides. But
That's
yes,
what you want?
nothing would ever defeat Shaggy and Scooby, so... Yeah.
What did I just erase? Constantine?
Yeah.
And then...
Change Nick with the Frog Brothers.
And then... Is that good?
Mm-hmm. That makes more sense.
Ariel's gonna be so happy, and I adore Ariel, and I adore making Ariel happy.
Alright, from one group battle to another.
Are you ready?
Who you gonna call?
It's actually funny, because on the poster for Monster Squad, it says, now who you gonna call?
There you go.
It does, look at this.
From now you're
look
gonna
at
call?
it.
Yeah.
So who do you call? That's what
who
it says.
do you call?
But I think that, no, I'm sorry. They're not fighting. They just lost. They're not going to fight them, but no. Monster Squad would not top my boys. The Ghostbusters. My boys in tan. My boys in tan.
Well, plus this is their slime tanks, but if we're going with their protopacks, I mean, that would kill any human.
Hold the phone. Did Dice just say Fred Jones is expendable? My sweet, precious boy, Fred Jones. He is my favorite character in Scooby-Doo. He is more precious than anything in this world. He's super wholesome, so smart and hunky, and he's good at traps, and he's just a great leader, and he can fix a van, and he can decorate a cool van. He's an expert driver. He is all the things, Dice. So
He's wrecked that car a few times, I'm just going to say.
You shut your whore mouth.
And also, he usually lets Velma do all the work, and then he pulls off the mask to make it seem like he's the smart one. If anybody in Scooby-Doo is expendable, it is definitely Fred.
That is not true! You could lose Shaggy or Scooby. They do the same thing.
It's called Scooby-Doo.
Then I guess it's Shaggy who's got to go.
Fred Jones.
Fred Jones is the leader of the group. We'll argue this another... What? My own baby said that?
Yeah, see, the expert just said that. There you go. Monster Squad wins with the death of Fred. Monster Squad doesn't win. They lose horribly, but they kill Fred first.
You can't trust me anyway. I like Scrappy-Doo.
He is the weakest link.
You're the weakest link.
Scrappy-Doo? Aww.
All right.
All right, so...
So, Rich says he is a GB expert. He's a Great Britain expert. I think he means Ghostbusters, but, you know, I'm going to tease him.
He is. It's his favorite movie, I hear, Ghostbusters.
Zigbo would like you to all remember when Shaggy got boobs. Click on the link.
I'll tell you, I was confused, though. He told me that Ghostbusters is his favorite movie, but if you go check out the Movie Massacre show, anyways, and check out his latest review of Shark Exorcist, I could have swore that would be his favorite movie just by his review. But
also, check out the awesome promo he did on Twitter for this fight tonight.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Okay, so I feel bad. I've neglected our boys in tan. I got distracted with all the Fred hate.
Yeah,
which it's fine because this is my show, and I'm just gonna say you're all wrong. You're all wrong. Boom.
Anyways, you got them with their slime tanks, but they usually have protopacks, and their protopacks are very effective on humans as much as they are on ghosts.
Hold the phone. Torchbearer says Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to be at Emerald City Comic Con in a few weeks. Guess what we're doing in a few weeks?
He's also going to be starting up his own wrestling organization.
That doesn't mean I get to meet him.
Can I go wrestle for him?
Sure. Anyway, back to talking about the Ghostbusters. So what is it? So what's cool about the Ghostbusters is they're like, for the most part, they're a bunch of people who've been kind of rejected by society. So you've got Venkman, who is a parapsychologist, I think.
Yeah.
He's fired. You've got Egon, who's
I think Venkman's canceled by today's standards.
Egon's expert in like spores and molds and other sciencey stuff. Ray's a paranormal expert, and Winston just really needed a job, but he is a lot more street smart, I think, than the other guys are. I mean, they're kind of...
He also served in the military.
He served in the military, and as we've seen in the newer movie, he has more business sense than them. Like, he has become very successful and is actually financing the reopening of the firehouse.
So he might not be a scientist per se, but he is very
He's
very
skilled in
effective
other
member
ways.
of the team. Like I said, especially in a team fight like this against other humans, because, like I said, he's served in the military. He's street smart. He's probably street tough, from what it seems like. He seems like he's probably the most badass and physically fit out of all the Ghostbusters. Though Dan Aykroyd plays Ray, and Dan Aykroyd in real life, kind of paranormal stuff is actually part of his life in ghost hunting.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why he originally wrote the script. It was a lot different, but that actually is his family business in a sense from way back in the day. Of
Maverick's
ancestors.
here. Say hi to Maverick.
Sup, Maverick?
So, I mean, I like Winston because I feel like he's the most relatable. Like, he's the one that is more like the audience placement character. Because the other guys, they've led some very strange lives.
Yeah.
But what do? They kick ghost butts. So, using their expert science abilities, they are able to create a proton pack, a trap, a whole system for storing them. Now, I'm going to say that this isn't the best idea. I'm going to say that right now. They store them all in this big, I don't know, garbage chute container in the firehouse. And here's the thing. Unpopular opinion. But the guy who comes down from the city and is like, this is not okay. Like, you should not be doing this. He goes about it the wrong way by shutting it down and letting them all escape. But
that was a bad idea. The man also has no dick.
He's not wrong.
But he has no dick.
He does have no dick. This is true.
This is true. And like I said, you got the slime there. That ectoplasm converted to make happy slime, which would turn things that are negative ghost energy into positive ghost energy, can manipulate the Statue of Liberty and actually make her, like, you could drive around in the Statue of Liberty with a little Nintendo controller. So the slime, they're very effective. They can come at you with a Statue of Liberty if they need to.
Unpopular opinion, I love Ghostbusters too.
I love Ghostbusters too. It's a little sillier and there's a little more humor towards kids.
It's scarier in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
too.
but I mean, like, it gets a little more slapstick with the comedy, except for Venkman. He's just straight up just Bill Murray regardless. He doesn't care if it's going to be a little more directed towards kids. But yeah, so what? It's a little more geared towards kids, but I still think it's a great movie.
Checking in with the chat. Rich says, Winston represents the everyman. He's also a qualified scientist in the comic books.
There you go.
We are not experts in the comic books, so we're just going to go with the movies here.
I've read some of the comics, and
Wallace has read them all.
I've seen them cross over with Ninja Turtles, and that's where he straight up said, because him and Raphael were laughing at Donatello and all the scientists talk. But yeah, Leonardo was even impressed by Winston's military background. So.
Rich says, Egon's the brains, Ray's the heart, Venkman's the wild card, and Winston's the everyman. Zigma says they drive the Statue of Liberty with a Nintendo controller.
Yeah.
And Arrow says the best giant monster is the Staple Marshmallow Man. All great points, guys. Great points. So what we have here is a bunch of very, very intelligent people who've launched a business, and they've overcome some stuff, but they've always got each other's backs.
They've taken on more than just ghosts.
Brotherhood.
They've taken on more than just ghosts. They've had multiple enemies such as demons and elder gods and stuff as well. So they've done a lot. Let's just put it that way.
They have done a lot. So they've gone against Zool, lots of ghosts. Let's see who they're going up against. Oh boy. This one's for you, Ariel. The Frog Brothers. So I did keep them in here for Ariel. I had them replace Ernest. Because I don't think a lot of people were super passionate about Ernest being in here. And honestly, I think Ernest had a lot of
I think Ernest had a better chance, to be honest.
Maybe, but for Ariel, who's a loyal viewer of this channel, I decided to keep the Frog Brothers in here.
I was surprised I didn't see Ernest on here. I thought he was up against Bert originally.
I was going to have Ernest in here, but for Ariel, I wanted to have the Frog Brothers.
All right.
Ariel's watched every show on this channel.
All right.
So, there you have it.
I thought Ernest was up against Bert
I made an
originally.
executive decision.
I think Ernest had a better chance, though. I love the Frog Brothers. They're cool. They know a lot about comics. They know a lot about vampires. They fearlessly, as young kids, go and kill a lot of vampires with holy water, with stakes, with garlic. That is basically their weapons. They do get older, and unfortunately, not everything ends well for them in the future with vampires. But
they come back in other movies, too. They're together again in The Thirst.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, these kids are not afraid of anything. I will say that makes them a little careless sometimes when they rush into danger because they are more balls than brains. But where the Ghostbusters are highly intelligent, these kids are all balls. Like, all balls. Ghostbusters, all brains. Hand to hand, I feel like these little shits might be able to get in a few good hits.
I think they could take Winston, or not Winston.
I think Winston could kick their ass.
He could kick both their asses
He's
by
been
himself.
in the military.
I think they could kick Ray and Ray's ass. Probably Egon's ass. Yeah, they probably kick Ray and Egon's ass. Maybe have a little trouble with Venkman, but Winston would beat the crap out of both of them by himself.
Here's what happens. The Frog Brothers break into the firehouse. They tie up Ray, terrorize him, beat up Egon, and are in a mouthy back and forth with Venkman when Winston shows up and kicks both their asses and throws them out.
Yeah. And honestly, if it was just straight up to the death, a proton plaque would incinerate them. So, I don't think they have weapons to take on the Ghostbusters. They could take on a couple of the Ghostbusters in hand-to-hand with, and the stakes would kill humans just as much, but this is a pretty one-sided fight.
Here's what our son says.
Dice, yes, Ernest was actually on the list, but now he's gone.
Uh-oh. It's a brokens.
Oh, no.
Lol says, who would win, 2 fleshy boys or 4 guys with plasma guns? Very, very well said, son. Very well said.
Yeah. This one was pretty one-sided, sadly, but
it is
I
pretty
like the Frog
one-sided,
Brothers.
but yeah, maybe they should have gone against the Monster Squad.
Yeah, maybe. In hindsight. Oh well. It is what it is.
Cheese whiz.
Sad about Ernest now. I didn't realize he was gone until
Ernest has only been in one kind of horror movie.
But he also has Electroman abilities.
That's not in a horror movie. Wouldn't count.
So what? It's Ernest.
Doesn't matter. This is for Ariel. Be supportive.
I'm sad.
Well, I guess we could change Mystery Inc. to them with Ghostbusters and see who would win between these two.
We're already going with that way, so I just say move Ghost. Well, let's check the votes. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Ghostbusters got this one. There's no point of making them fight the Monster Squad because no matter who wins, that's gonna lose the other one. We've already done it.
For fun. Okay, so I think we all agree the Ghostbusters got this. Right? For fun, do you want to see who would win with the Monster Squad and the Frog Brothers?
Not particularly, but it's your show if you want to do it. Let's do it if you want to.
Just between you and me then.
I think the Monster Squad would win. They have better weapons.
Fair enough. Who
And
do you
there's
think
more of
would have
them.
won between... Okay.
They'd have casualties. The Frog Brothers would take out a couple of them.
Who do you think would have won between Ernest and the Ghostbusters?
I really don't know, to be honest.
Really?
Ernest has a lot of Toon Force himself.
Really? And there was a crossover between Scooby Apocalypse and the Frog Brothers. See? Ariel knows what's up.
Exactly.
Well, they got a vote, so there you go.
I think we got 2 votes for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I honestly do think they would kill a couple of the Ghostbusters.
I think they're pretty crafty, and they're very brave.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we calling it?
I'd call it.
The winner is... Who's the winner?
Ghostbusters.
Who you gonna call?
Bustin' makes me feel good.
We know, Dan, we know. Everyone's
Bustin' 2 teenage boys makes my They busted him, though. They did. They busted him.
Okay, fair enough. So,
All right, let's move on.
I'll add one. I can add one. How's that?
Nah, let's move on.
I can add Ernest with this one for Mr. Inc. to go against Ghostbusters.
Nah, let's just move on.
Yeah? Just move on?
Move on.
Well, I feel bad. You didn't get Ernest.
I didn't. That's kind of sad, but let's move on to this next fight. Besides, I wanted to see him fight Bert.
I can still add him in here.
No.
I can have Ernest fight whoever wins before the final.
We can just make that up. We're going to do dream matches later on, you said, right?
Okay.
We'll do that later.
Alrighty. Are you ready? Dun 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 dun!
The guy who used his magic to mess up a lot of things earlier before the stream. Everybody's name was showing up as this person's name. Constantine. Yeah, almost everybody on this roster, not all of them, but half of them, their name appeared as Constantine, and she had to last second fix it all. This guy, he's mischievous. He's he's got, let's see, necromancy, teleportation. He can project illusions. He can pyrokinetics, telekinesis. He's got a lot of them. I mean, usually his spells take a second or whatever to perform. He can't usually just do them right away, but it doesn't take long. It doesn't usually take much. He can draw a little hieroglyph or whatever, say whatever spell he needs to say, or perform whatever little ritual he needs to perform to do it. Usually, foul-mouthing and talking, because he's very wisecracking.
Smoking?
Yeah, he's an addict. That isn't. We'll get into his weaknesses though. But usually he can talk some smack to buy some time to perform said spells. He's also very good friends with Zatanna and stuff, and now she can't be used for this, but he's learned a lot from her and other characters in the DC universe. He also was played by Keanu Reeves at one point.
Which he doesn't look the part at all.
No, they just wanted Keanu Reeves more Matrixing, basically. They just wanted a Matrix demon version.
So what can he do?
I just said all those things he could do.
Can he do anything else?
Yeah, I mean...
I've just seen the Constantine movie, guys. I've seen a couple of the animated movies.
He's done a lot. He's taken down some really big bads. He's started off as a side character in Swamp Thing, but soon became a very popular in his own character and got his own comics. He leads the DC Dark Universe Justice team, which even Batman's on that team, and it's still Constantine who leads it. So he's got his own detective skills. Yeah, he's very cool with the magic and the cult. He's very expert on the cult knowledge.
Zigma says Constantine can even trick people that hate him to save him.
He can. He's very also. He's like a car salesman too. He can really be mischievously misleading, and
I've heard he's a dick.
He is. He's a bit of a dick. He's a private dick. Now for weaknesses, he is an addict. He is a drunk. He's also addicted to just the thrill of magic. He's addicted to his lifestyle, and he does keep a big, large circle of friends of people who are very mortal and very weak to his world that he constantly brings into danger and gets killed. There's how many times has Constantine cried about someone he got killed? It happens all the time. So his people can be used against him, like that he keeps in the circle even though he shouldn't. He should either cut all ties with these people if he's going to be Constantine, but he doesn't. He's also, like I said, an alcoholic. However, he very well performs while intoxicated most of the time. Sometimes he gets too drunk.
Like a drunken monkey?
Sometimes he gets too, yes, sometimes like Drunken Monkey. He does
or,
have...
that Jackie Chan movie, Drunken Master.
Now, he would, I'd say, has above average fighting ability, but he's not the best at hand-to-hand, usually. But he's good with magic swords and other things, so... and he still works well while pretty drunk, like I said.
Hey, Wayne Turner's here!
He has gotten a little too blacked out.
And Torchbearer says they cosplayed as Constantine at their first CryptoCon in 2019. That's pretty cool. He had some awesome cosplays this last year.
And
all right. So, anything else on Constantine?
He's taken down some really impressive big bads, but usually with the help of either Swamp Thing or Zatanna or Batman or whoever. But
all right. So I admit I have never seen Grimm. My mummy has seen Grimm. I've never seen Grimm. We had to research this today a lot. And surprisingly, he seems to have a lot of abilities like Buffy.
Yeah, he's suffering from some sort of zombie post-precordial disease but it gives him
Precoital?
some. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it was called. Something like that. He has some weird zombie PTSD type disease that like suffered him. It gave him all these powers. He can like kind of see who's really a human or a monster by looking at them. Like he basically has that they live kind of vision. It seems like, so, but he once lost his powers because like a witch seduced him by making herself look like his girlfriend, and then like,
I thought he could see them.
yeah, I don't know exactly how that worked. Your mom.
But maybe it's like the they live thing, so she's human, so she just looks human.
He
But
usually-
the witches look like hags, right?
Yeah, he usually hunts like hag-like witches and werewolves. So, but yeah, he's got
Regenerative abilities.
regenerative abilities, super
supernatural
strength,
speed, supernatural strength, supernatural
senses, hearing, stuff like that.
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah. So he's got all those type of powers, but I do think he's a little outclassed by Constantine here. I do think in a hand-to-hand combat he is stronger and a little faster, but Constantine has way more abilities than just that. So
it seems like Constantine has more like mystical abilities, and Nick has more like fighting type abilities, more like Buffy.
he's got a lot of your standard hunters on here that are a little like above super ability, like above average human strength and stuff, but he's not, from what I understand, he's not the best with magic. I mean, he was tricked by a witch to have sex with him, so I don't know.
Checking with the chat because they might be better experts than us.
Yeah.
Rich and Mrs. Massacre love Grimm, but Nick doesn't have supernatural magic powers like Constantine does, plus Nick always has a lot of help. Mummy says Grimm is awesome. Torch versus Constantine usually takes down the bad guys on his own in the Hellblazer comic. Rich watches Grimm every week. Zygma said he would have never seen Constantine. He's not great versus magic. Okay, that's probably why he was fooled by the witch.
Yeah.
And Nick's great with weapons and hand-to-hand combat. And Wayne says, I want Mick Taylor from Wolf Creek Battle versus Jigsaw. Battle of the Aussie Creations. That's a great one. We're going to have some dream matches here soon. Sorry, Nick. I'm voting for Constantine. Nick is weak against magic, too. Most of the big bads use magic, and a lot of people with magic ruined his life. So, guys, this is one where I'm not the expert. You guys are definitely the experts here, and you have made some great arguments for Constantine. I think I'm going to vote Constantine.
I'm going to go with Constantine, from what I know. I don't know much about Nick. We've kind of studied him recently. I do actually want to watch Grimm. And it sounds like a cool character, but it also kind of sounds like Captain America minus his shield versus Doctor Strange.
And by studying, it's you and your boxers on your phone going, hey, he can do this, this, and this while I'm doing my makeup and getting ready for the show.
I was wearing shorts.
Yeah. Oh,
That wasn't
regular
in my-
shorts. Okay, I'm sorry. They were not boxer shorts, but it was chaotic.
Yeah. Well, he's like the one person I really don't know about at all on this list. I know other stuff. I'm not like an expert on everybody on this list, but he's the one person that kind of came out of left field for me. I am very intrigued by what I learned about him, so I do want to watch the show now. But yeah, it sounds like I said, Captain America no shield versus Doctor Strange and all of his abilities.
Zygma says Constantine's mouth will distract Nick long enough to set up a trap. And Nick, the actor who plays him, is in TV's A Million Little Things. So it sounds like Nick's pretty badass. Like, and
He does.
after what we
In his
learned
own
about
right.
him, I really want to see Grimm because it does sound like it's our kind of show.
Yeah.
It's like Supernatural or Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I'm interested in seeing that.
I do think
Mummy says Constantine's British and therefore obviously superior.
Of course. I like Nick Bernhardt here. I think he fits. I think he's deserving to be on this list. He does have probably an upper on some of these people, but he just got the bad luck of drawing Constantine. I'd be honest.
All right. Sorry, I guess my card wasn't the best this week.
Oh, that's fine.
But the winner
I
is...
think Ernest would have had a better chance against Constantine.
I'm sorry. This is why you gotta help me better. It's fine. I'm throwing in Ernest as a wild card. That's how he deserves to go out, as a wild card. I am throwing in Ernest P. Worley as a wild card.
You gotta
Mark my words.
Make the vote.
I already did. People voted.
Oh.
Get
I
faster
didn't
with
get a
it.
vote because I was too busy
I
talking.
told you I was calling it.
All
All right, the winner's Constantine. Would you have voted Constantine?
Yeah. So.
Well, there you go, Sally
I
Sadsack.
still like to vote. It's the principle of the thing.
Well, you can be the principal of that principal, but this is the principal that's not going to principal your principal. It's the principal that's going on to the next fight.
Anyways.
And now we've got the main event!
Dun dun dun, my hero, Ash Williams. Versus...
I'm calling this the I don't know what to call this.
I don't know.
It's going to be groovy.
It's the battle of the chins, damn it. They both have those square jaws. Ash usually keeps his baby face while Abraham Lincoln has a full-on beard, but they both have that hard chin.
Now for the main event. You know him, you love him, Ashley J. Williams. He has fought the Deadites. He has gone against the Army of Darkness. He is here tonight in the left corner. In the right corner, he was president of this fine country.
Probably the best president to ever live.
He's on the $5 bill
And the penny.
He has a great hat and a great beard. He is a vampire slayer and a zombie hunter. Let's give it up for Abraham Lincoln! Ow! Ow, 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 ow!
Also free the slaves.
Oh, yeah, that was good, too.
It was awesome. But, all seriousness, I've seen both Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Zombie Hunter, or Vampire Slayer, was it? I've seen them both. They differ, the different type of Lincolns, but let's get on with Ash first.
Because I only can have one picture at a time.
Exactly.
Just make it easy for me, please.
Yeah, like I said, we had, they both have...
This is your boy,
they
so
got
I'm
the
gonna
chins.
I'm going to let you handle this, but I will jump in.
Well, okay,
Oops.
Ash. Reluctant hero in his very beginnings. Ash, when he went by Ashley and his sister had a bad incident with trees, he then learned to kick ass as his friends were then slaughtered.
You learned to kick Ash?
He learned to kick some ass as his friends were slaughtered, and he saw that, you know, maybe I have to chop up people I love because they are no longer the people I love. By the time we have Evil Dead 2, the dude's, you know, fighting his own... He cuts off his own hand with the chainsaw. He then... Or... He stabs it. Cuts it off. He, not only loses that, he loses his sanity. He loses his humanity as he becomes a Deadite, but then wills himself back into being human because of the sad necklace. He's had to bury... What's her name? What? 3 different times?
Linda?
Yeah, Linda.
I thought you were an expert.
I am. Not. I never said
All
I was
right.
expert on anything.
I got you. I got you. So what can Ashley do? He's got almost Toon Force luck. Because Ash is an idiot. He is the opposite of the Ghostbusters. This man is plumb stupid. But, like Shaggy and Scooby, he's incredibly fucking lucky and very, well, again, he's kind of cowardly like them,
Starts
too.
off that way.
But he's also faced a lot of things, and he's a little battle war, especially when we get to Ash versus our Evil Dead, the show.
He's a bit selfish.
He's selfish, for sure. He is not socially appropriate. He is not an easy person to be friends with, but he is still incredibly, overly arrogant, still very charming. He has a chainsaw arm. He's got that glove one, too, the glove one that
Metal
they made for
glove
him.
hand. Yeah. Made
He's
from
got-
medieval times.
He's got a boomstick. He's been back to medieval times. Weaknesses is shit at remembering incantations.
Yeah, but he can...
Klaatu brought it.
When his evil doppelganger leads an army of the darkness, undead skeleton army towards him, he bands together with a human army and, you know, they manage to win. Barely.
The thing is with Ash, he will survive just about any skirmish, but I feel bad if you're on his team, because with the exception of a couple lucky people, like
Pablo and Kelly.
Pablo and Kelly, most of the people around Ash die.
And
Ash
even-
can get himself out, but not too many other people.
And even they, well, you know.
Why are you pointing at your nips?
Because they're on my nips. But anyways, they've even had some bad brushes with pretty much death themselves because of being around him. But I think Pablo was actually brought back to life after he, like, fused with the Necronomicon. But yeah, Ash wields the Necronomicon. He can summon portals. He's traveled in a lot of them, especially in video games as well. There's different versions of Ash. He's once was killed by Howard the Duck, a zombie version, but that wasn't Ash J.
For the
Williams.
purposes of this, we're not going to count
I
the
know,
comics.
I'm just
So that gets into Hack Slash, the
Mhm.
President Biden,
Yeah.
whole bunch of other
Obama.
stuff.
He saved Obama once.
Oh, sorry. Wow.
We can still count
I
him
meant
saving
Obama.
Obama. Why not?
I meant Obama.
We can save. He's also taken on Marvel zombies before and lived, but Anyways, the guy survives almost anything is the point. He is almost an Indiana Jones of horror because of how ridiculous things come out, and he just manages to luck his way through a lot of them.
He has a 4-leaf clover up his ass.
Yes. But anybody around him is almost good as dead.
He's not the strongest or the most physically fit. He can barely fit into his outfit in the newer series. But yeah, he is really, really good at figuring things out on the fly. He gets scared pretty easily, but he recovers well.
Regardless of not being in shape, though, he can fly around and catch his...
Yes,
yeah.
He has a little bit of toon force.
Yes. He can catch his chainsaw with his hand. I don't know how he actually activates the chainsaw because he doesn't have a hand to pull the trigger, and if you're not pulling the trigger, the thing's not going to go.
It's just like the Cherry Darling thing. Let's just not ask.
It works is all the point matters.
But I want to see Cherry Darling versus Ash Williams in one of our dream fights.
Yeah. So, I don't know. The dude's incredibly lucky, incredibly resilient. He might not be intelligent.
But, like I said, kind of an idiot, since half the time it's his fault that the Deadites...
In fact, he gets high in the show and lets someone read the book, because he's... Not
that bright, Ash, not that bright, but he manages.
He even took on Xena. Oh, wait, no. It was Lucy Lawless as a demon. He actually wrote... he actually directed a couple episodes of Xena, though. So, there you go. Now let's move on to...
checking in with the chat really quick. Spam! Thank you, moderators, for taking care of it. Ariel says... George Purr says the Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter book is better. Ash and his boomstick! This guy has everything from Burn Notice to Psych to AP Bio. Just tons of great B-movies, too. He didn't close the time portal. Wayne says, Ash is fire. I have the complete TV series on DVD, the original movies on DVD and Blu-ray, plus the soundtrack of Evil Dead 2. All great. Plus, if you get a chance to see the Evil Dead musical, it's awesome. Ash is groovy. Ash is smarter than he looks. He knows a lot about science and Army of Darkness. That's true.
Yeah. He also, he has a science book in his car for some reason. He also has an Oldsmobile. It's been used as a weapon several times. He, will tell a woman, if you are around me long enough, at one point in time, you will consider having sex with me, and it always somehow comes true.
He is weirdly charming.
Even if it's a passing moment.
So let's look at his opponent.
4 and many years ago.
As crass and abrasive as Ash can be, Abraham Lincoln is the absolute opposite. He's honorable. He's kind. He is forthright. He does right by people, and he kicks a lot of zombie and vampire Ash. Though I'm gonna have to admit I fell asleep during the Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies movie.
Well, the zombie ones, he teamed up with Stonewall Jackson, who sacrificed himself in a giant explosion to take most of the
zombies. It's all factually accurate, right?
Yeah, totally. He wields an axe that he can almost matrix around and throw it and kill vampires with. He also wields a scythe that he flicks and it turns into a scythe. It's like a stick that he decapitates zombies with. He sadly is pretty gullible with zombies. In fact, when Mary turns into a zombie, he's attending her chains and her wounds, and he wants to come up with a cure of how to turn her back to human. She then bites him, and then he allows his assassination, which he knew about, to take place because he knows within 24 hours he will be a zombie too. So he basically sets up his own assassination to make sure that he's going to be shot in the head.
I will say Abraham Lincoln is highly intelligent, but he has a very big heart. And definitely in that Zombies one, that was his undoing. He didn't like how his wife was being treated, like her shackles and stuff, which was to keep themselves safe. Mm-hmm. But, he wanted her to be treated with dignity, and in getting too close to her, he got himself bitten.
The real Abraham Lincoln, I believe, was a bit of a boxer, so he knows some of that as well.
We're not counting the real Abraham Lincoln at all, because I think we could get into some places where it could be disrespectful. I'm counting Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, the book and the movie, and Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies, for the purpose of this.
Like I said in the movie Abraham Lincoln, the one with the vampires, he's got some Matrix type skills there with his axe. So he does that. like I said, he is honorable, but that might be a detriment to his fight against Ash, to be honest.
Possibly.
Ash would probably...
Let's also talk about his vampire killing abilities. And Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, as Zygma says, he only needed one move to beat his vampires. He is fast. He starts from a young age in that movie hunting down vampires. Like, he has a lifetime of experience. He is very fast. He's, good with an axe, good with weapons, good at decapitation.
Though he doesn't, other than muskets back then, they weren't very limited on their technology. He has no real knowledge of the technology that Ash has of today, which Ash even uses when he goes back into fight medieval times. Like I said, he knew all the science. That's how he managed to make a glove and more gunpowder. But Lincoln is very intelligent, especially for his time. Like, he might not have the knowledge of what the future is, but highly intelligent for his time, where Ash is, I don't know, like...
Ash has managed to... Ash is always Ash no matter what the time period, but somehow he manages to do all right.
Yeah.
So who would win?
I'm giving it to Ash Williams.
Why?
Just better luck. As I saw in those movies, Lincoln doesn't have the best luck. He has a lot of skill. He doesn't have the best luck.
That's true. He's brought down by bad luck.
He's brought down
Lincoln does a lot for other people, but ultimately he ends up meeting a pretty grisly end in both of his movies.
He's less selfish, but once again, that's kind of a detriment. He's more honorable. Once again, in this fight, I find that is more of a detriment. He doesn't have a boomstick. He also doesn't have the Necronomicon. I don't know. I'm just giving it to Ash by just sheer of what they have available to them and their tactics. Though I do think Lincoln is going to be a hell of a fight. And even though Ash has saved Obama in this one, I think he's going to kill Abraham Lincoln.
What happened to Wayne Turner? Did he get put in timeout? I don't know how to fix it. He probably got caught up in the porn bots. Well, I'll just make him a moderator, and then he'll be fine.
There you go. Yeah, I'm giving it to Ash, but not by a lot. Abraham Lincoln, they can get taken a punch in the chin. Ash always gets back up. He might not be the best at hand-to-hand.
Abraham Lincoln's scrappy.
Yeah. I think in a hand-to-hand fight, he'd probably have better style than Ash, but Ash has the chainsaw, and I think that does trump the axe and the scythe.
Let me know in the chat. Oh, my phone died. I can't vote. Let me know in the chat who you're voting for and why. I don't get a vote because my phone died. If I could vote, I have a lot of respect for Abraham Lincoln. He is a great, great man and a great fictional character who he kicks a lot of ass. But I do think that Ash just has has great luck and has had time travel, all these crazy experiences. And I feel like Ash being exceedingly selfish Abraham Lincoln being exceedingly selfless is going to work against Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And Wayne, try to type something in the chat because I did make you a moderator, so you should be fine now. All right, 16 votes. I'm going to call it. Did you vote? Mm-hmm. Ash wins! Ash can take a beating and deliver one back. He gets my vote, says Mr. Fixter. But you said this is how they were at the end of the movie. Abe was old and not able to fight anymore. Oh, well, for Abraham Lincoln, I would say at his height. So at the time in his life when he was the best at kicking ass.
Yeah. Not when he's infected by a zombie bite either.
Yeah. Though for Ash, it doesn't really matter. Young or old.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I think he
his luck never really
deserves to move on to the next one. All right, so now the second round, as you know, goes a little bit faster because we've already given you all their abilities. We're just going to talk about who would win. So this is going to be interesting. Are you ready for this?
A handicap fight.
What's that mean?
2-on-1. It's fine.
This one, our first fight is Sam and Dean Winchester against Bert Gummer from Tremors.
All right, scenario here. Bert Gummer killed a Tremor who swallowed some sort of ancient demon artifact and now has it in his fortress. Sam and Dean have tried to maybe politically talk him out of this artifact, but he said, you're going to have to come in and get it over my dead body. So they're breaking into Bert's fortress to try and get this ancient demon artifact. And it is to the death because Bert will not give it up. Maybe it's even possessed Bert. Who knows?
Hey, Robert the Wolfman, good to see you. So we've got Sam and Dean Winchester, and they are going against Bert Gummer. This is a tough one. Obviously, Bert is great with weapons.
And has a
Sam
lot
and
of...
Dean Winchester are great with weapons. Bert has a lot of experience. Sam and Dean Winchester have a lot of experience. Bert has survived, being nearly killed. Sam and Dean Winchester have been killed and come back.
All right. There you also have the advantage of there's two of them. I think possibly in a scenario where they are on Bert's property and he's unleashing all of his guns, possibly he might take one of them out. But I don't think he could certainly not take both of them out. And yeah, especially if one of his traps...
But they're gonna fight like John Wick style, where only one of them fights them at a time.
Oh.
Like, you know how in movies, even though there's like a more than one person fighting them, they only fight one guy. Like only one guy goes up to fight them.
Well, if Bert, like I said, either way, if he manages to
But
get
even with one
of
Winchester, hand to hand, I feel like they're gonna kick his ass.
Yeah,
Bert has TNT though, and it's dynamite.
Like I said, if they were storming Bert's fortress for whatever, I think he might kill one of them with his traps and guns and whatever. He has a huge arsenal, and they are acceptable to human weapons. Like, they're actually probably better at fighting creatures than they are people. But I don't see him killing both of them. At best case scenario, he takes out Sam or something, but that's a best case scenario. I don't know if he'd take out either of them.
Bert Gummer, I mean, he's a survivalist. He can handle a lot. He's got TNT dynamite. If they happen to be caught off guard, like they go into a building that he is rigged with explosives, he could kill them.
Yeah, he could.
However, the boys are pretty smart. If they're going into a building where they know that Bert is their opponent and that he has explosives, they're going to be prepared.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a different world, so he hunts different things. But Bert is pretty equivalent to Bobby.
Yeah.
In their world.
Yeah, he is.
He's pretty equivalent to that, but I don't think Bobby could take both Sam and Dean.
I can't vote, but this one I would say the Winchesters.
I'm giving it the Winchesters. I do think it's slightly unfair because there's two of them, but yeah. Regardless, even if it is one-on-one, like if he's only fighting one of them, I would still say they have the edge.
Well, I would say, because the boys, they have a lot of weapons. They don't have explosives typically.
Usually,
so I'm going to say that evens it out.
Yeah.
Bert and his explosives versus the Winchesters.
I'm giving it to the Winchesters, but I could see Bert being a bigger challenge than they would expect from him.
If Bert is able to get them into a trap where they are blown up, they would die.
Yeah, exactly.
And he would be killing both of them, which would actually be better because they're really tricky at making like deals and stuff to save the other one. However, in these fights, theoretically, they know who they're fighting against. And the Winchester boys know their opponents really well, whether it be a vampire or a Wendigo or a witch, whatever it is, they figure it out. And he is a mortal man, and they know he has explosives.
If
so
anything,
I think they'd be prepared.
They could easily hack FBI files on him and stuff.
Oh, they could do that.
And since he's famous for killing graboids, there'd be files on him. So
mostly, again, it's one of those ones I'd rather just see them team up.
Well, that's how this whole bracket pretty much is. This is mostly good guys who hunt things, so I'd love to see all these people team up. But for this death battle's sake that we're doing here.
Checking in with the chat. The Winchester boys is Ariel. The Winchesters are more calculated, while Bert is unhinged. I agree, but sometimes I like that wild card energy, guys. I just like it. But I would vote for the Winchesters if I could vote. But I didn't charge my phone, so I can't. All right, 13 votes. If we get to 15, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Winchesters. I could see scenarios where Bert would win. If they fought a whole bunch of times, I'm sure his explosives would catch him off guard at least a few of those times. But most of the time, I think they're going to
Okay, I'm going to call it now just because the Winchesters are at 69%.
All right.
That's funny. Because
Because 69 is a funny number.
Yeah. Okay. So the Winchesters are moving into the semifinals. I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for a couple mortal guys in this kind of battle.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so guys, just telling you now, I had a dream match I wanted to see happen, and that was one thing I did plan the card around a little bit. I really want to see Buffy against the Winchesters. There's so much fan fiction where people ship them and stuff. I want to see them fight really bad. I've thought about this so many times. So, depending on who wins this one, Buffy could potentially go against Sam and Dean Winchester.
All right, stop trying to sway the vote, though. Like on popularity reasons.
Not popularity reasons. She's a badass. If she happens to lose, she loses. If she dies, she dies.
Vote for who you really think would win.
So, again, these ones, we don't really recap their powers and stuff because, you know, you guys already heard us go through the spiel. But this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer versus the first great Slayer, well, depending on your mythology, Van Helsing. This is a tough one. Van Helsing is a legend, but arguably Buffy is the greatest Slayer of all time. And there's been a lot of Slayers like Van Helsing who have the weapons, who have the training. But Buffy is a wild card. That's why she stands out. She is able to think outside of the box. And on top of that, Buffy has superpowers. She is super strong. So Van Helsing's got weapons. Buffy has super strength. Buffy has super healing. Buffy has super reflexes. Buffy has arguably better weapons. I think the scythe would one-up anything in Van Helsing's arsenal. Not to mention that she has modern-day weapons like a fucking rocket launcher.
Even if he throws certain things at her, she could probably catch them in the air.
She could. I mean, honestly, it's kind of like Buffy going against, like, Giles. He's great, but it's Buffy. He's a legend amongst human vampire slayers. She's a legend against supernatural vampire slayers.
I want to give it to her because of the...
Buffy doesn't have cramps in this one because we're not talking about the movie, but even if she did, she still could. I always thought the cramps thing was silly. But the cramps were to let her know that vampires are around. So even if we did include the movie, she wouldn't get cramps because Van Helsing's not a vampire.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think?
And even if we're going by, like, the OGs, I mean, I think Christy Swanson Buffy would take on the Dracula Van Helsing easily. Just
okay,
Van.
To put it this way, Van Helsing, in all of his movies, barely is able to take out Dracula at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Buffy killed Dracula in one episode.
Oh, she didn't kill him, though.
Well, he regenerates.
He couldn't seduce her, and she couldn't...
But as far as he's killed in a Dracula movie, like staked, which is how he dies in the movies, and he comes back for the next one. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show is kind of explaining that he just reforms from mist. So you can never permanently kill Dracula, at least as far as Buffy lore goes. But in so much as any Van Helsing has ever killed Dracula, so has Buffy.
Well, yeah,
she defeated him.
Yeah, he retreated and then later came back as an ally.
And Buffy knows martial arts, like Mr. Flixter said.
Yeah. She does. Depending on your version of Van Helsing, some of them he's pretty good at hand-to-hand combat and different styles. I'm sure he learned something. But he still doesn't have the super strength.
Zygma says Van Helsing is a badass. Little girl has no chance. Okay, little girl is so much stronger than Van Helsing. She could break him without trying to.
Arm wrestling, she'd win.
She could give him a hug and break his spine. She's a lot stronger than him. She has martial arts. She has gymnastics. Have you seen those pants he's wearing? The Hugh Jackman one? His pants would rippeth when he tried to do a flip. I say rippeth because he's old, like old-timey.
Yeah. Especially if it's the really old versions of him. She could, pick him up and just toss him, probably a good 50 feet. So. She's
stronger. She has a bigger arsenal. She thinks outside the box. She's not limited to what she's learned from books and learning, which is great. That's what Van Helsing has. But she has that and then some.
And a rocket launcher.
And a rocket launcher. Oh my god, are you guys seriously voting for Van Helsing? My phone better charge. What the thing? What on earth? Van Helsing over Buffy? Are you... Someone better give me a good argument as to why.
Because he's the OG, I guess. I don't know.
Van Helsing's just going to shoot her with 100 arrows with an arrow Gatling gun. She's been shot at with things before. She's only been actually hit once. She's had all kinds of things shot at her. They had arrows in the big school battleground. They weren't being shot at her. I'm trying to think of anyone ever shot arrows at her. She has gone against a werewolf hunter who had a lot of guns and stuff too. But I don't think an arrow would be enough to take her out anyway.
Yeah. And I think
Helsing's pants are too tight, Dice. Thank you. They're
Plus-
way too tight, and that's why he can't do slick martial arts stuff like Buffy can.
his arrow Gatling gun would get exploded by her rocket launcher.
Thank you, Dice. Get rid of the sexy bots, guys.
I think he could like dodge her rocket launcher, but not with his Gatling gun. He'd have to drop it and run. That would get exploded. He wouldn't have it anymore.
If you guys are voting for Van Helsing, I want to hear your arguments, because I feel like Buffy can do everything he can do and do it better.
Yeah, it certainly took more for him to take on Dracula than her. Plus, she hunts demons and other things too. Even though it's vampire, they both do. They've hunted lots of different things that are vampires. They're just known for their vampire hunting.
Okay, in Van Helsing's defense, because I'm trying to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
Buffy was under Dracula's thrall. Dracula has this thing where he can like mesmerize you, kind of seduce you, and kind of hypnotize you. And as far as I know, he's never done that to Van Helsing, but I don't think he's ever tried.
I've seen him do it to Van Helsing in different versions.
Oh, he did?
In
Okay.
different versions.
He did that to Buffy for a little bit, but she is extremely strong-willed, and then eventually tells him that the thrall in their relationship is over because it doesn't work on her anymore.
Yeah,
'cause
she
badass.
has a resistance to it eventually. That's why he retreats. He did have Xander is basically his new little like assistant, like eating bugs and shit.
And Van Helsing cannot have any help. Just like Buffy can't have her Scoobies, Van Helsing cannot have his friends. So none of Frankenstein's monsters can help him with this one, or Kate Beckinsale.
But no Xander, no Willow, nothing for Buffy as well.
Nope.
I think, and like I said, if it was like an arm wrestling contest, she'd rip his arm off. She's a lot stronger than him. But
In this scenario, I'm giving you a scenario. Van Helsing has come to town, right? That's the sound of his boots. And he's gonna kill Angel with his soul. What?
Yeah.
And Angel's all like mopey, and he's like, "Oh, just let him kill me." And Buffy's like, "No, we're not gonna do that because you're a good person and I love you." And so she's gonna be like, bring it on, Van Helsing. You're not gonna kill Angel, or maybe he's even gonna kill Spike. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna kill both of them. And Buffy's like, "No freaking way. Spike's a good guy too. He's got a soul. Yeah. Power Ranger moves. Yeah. And then he's all like, "What the heck? You're like 4 foot tall. Why are you so fast?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a vampire slayer." And he's like, "I am the vampire slayer." And then she like does a flippy thing and kicks him, and then his butt's on the ground, and then she's got like a foot on him, and he can't get up. And then she says something really witty.
Well, it wasn't so much trying to kill her. She was trying to destroy the whole world. Because she lost who she loved and just, when I agree. It wasn't like personally trying to kill Buffy.
How can my own brother say this? She has no friends. Even Willow tried to kill her.
She wasn't after Buffy, though. She just was going to blow up the whole world because she was sad.
Yeah, Buffy was in the way. That's so mean, Sigma.
It wasn't like a plot
That's
to kill
so
Buffy.
mean. My little heart is breaking. Also, I'm thinking about doing some Gory details on Buffy episodes. What do you think?
You should. I think you have swayed the vote, though.
Yes! After this,
Shouldn't have done that, though.
After this, I'm going into politics, baby.
I don't agree with the methods, but Buffy...
Do you agree with the results?
I guess, yeah.
Well,
I voted
12
for
votes.
Buffy because I think Buffy would win.
I would have voted for her too, and I'm giving it to Buffy. 12 votes. She won. Sigma. Well, Buffy is fighting by herself. Yeah, Robo. Oh, my sweet baby's in the chat. Look.
Yeah.
He's watching my stream.
Van Helsing was
Hi.
fighting by himself too, though.
Hi, Lols. Yeah, Van Helsing was fighting by himself too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Buffy is the winner.
There you go. You're getting your dream.
I'm
match.
getting my dream match, guys. Buffy's going into the semifinal. She's gonna go against the Winchesters. I'm happy right now.
I think
I'm happy. Are you happy? That's the first part of the semifinals. How are you feeling about this battle so far? This battle royal.
I do believe Buffy deserves to be where she's at, but I do think she might have just won that last one out of like pity votes to make you happy.
No, she legitimately won because she's super strong.
I hope that's why people picked it.
Oh, Wayne says he got the complete series of Buffy on DVD for only $20. Wayne, my dear friend, I'm going to tell you a little story about how Gory B movie got Buffy. So I really wanted to see this in high school. But the town I live in didn't have the channel that it was on, and it was really sad. And back in the day, we didn't really have the internet that provided TV shows like it does now with streaming. And, you couldn't get it that way. So finally, I met a girl at work. I rented the VHS tapes. I only had 2 episodes per tape from Blockbuster, so I saw a handful of them. And then I read the novelizations, and then I got the Watcher's Guides, but I still hadn't seen a lot of the episodes. So my buddy, who was in a Xena fan group and was getting Xena episodes mailed to us from California, was getting Buffy episodes. This is what I had to go through to see Buffy. And then finally eBay came around, and I bought a whole bunch of burned discs of Buffy, and I had like this giant binder of Buffy episodes. This is an exciting story. Don't even make that face.
I've heard it.
This is an exciting story.
I've heard it.
And then finally Buffy came out on DVD, season 1. It was the most glorious day ever, except for that I was young and poor. So what did I do? My friend, who's like the messiest person in the whole world, I scrubbed his house top to bottom in exchange for him buying me season 1, and it was worth it, guys. It was worth it. So now I have all of them, and pretty much life goals achieved.
Well, there you go. Ta-da! All right, I think it's time we move on to the next fight.
We could talk about Buffy some more.
We will later. She's got more fights.
Okay.
I hope RoboMuffin's still paying attention because it's
Checking
time for
in.
Mystery Inc. to come back.
They have to sell for cheap for anyone to buy it. Sigma's mean! Buffy is also on Amazon Prime, as it should be. Buffy is hot. This is true. Ric Flair isn't dead. He survived. Well, that's good, Rich.
No spoilers, though. I haven't watched that yet. Or
Whoa.
SummerSlam. I haven't watched either of those yet.
Okay, and so just tell the child what's happening.
He was just in there a second ago. I'm sure he's still watching.
He might still be here.
Anyways, it's Mystery Inc. time. Bring him back.
This is going to be a close one. Oh, because he loves Ghostbusters, too. So I will explain to you guys how hard this is for Lulz. Lulz has all of 2 autographs in his room. 2, because they're the only 2 that were important enough for him to get. 1, he has Winston's autograph when
Ernie
Winston
Hudson.
came to Crypticon. And he was so happy because Winston wrote on there, Ernie Hudson wrote on there, Lulz, you're a real Ghostbuster. And then Matthew Lillard, who plays his hero, Shaggy Rogers. So Norval Shaggy Rogers. So yeah, these are like 2 of Lulz's favorite things facing off. This is going to break his heart. One way or another, it's going to break his heart.
Right?
Zygma really wants
a close one.
Zygma really wants a new Van Helsing movie because he hates fun. Ariel says these 2 human gremlin hybrids call in that Buffy. If these 2 making human gremlin hybrids call in the Buffy. Yeah, if there's gremlin hybrids, I think Buffy can handle it. Movie Massacre! Mystery Machine has a mech Mystery Machine to counter the statue. All right, so who is going to win? Oh, sorry, that's RoboMuffin.
Yeah, he said it. So, they have a mech for the Mystery Machine as well, so it could take on the Statue of Liberty. I think the Statue of Liberty is a little bigger than their mech, just saying.
I think so too.
But it doesn't have very much maneuverability.
We gotta let them fight. We gotta let them fight. Let them fight. Here, you read Rich, I'll read Lulz. Can you do it in his voice?
No. Come on, the Ghostbusters have nuclear power packs and traps. If they don't technically have to use the guns with the trap, they've held the trap in the direction of the thing and caught them before. It's true, but as for nuclear devices, I mean, if it went off and exploded, it would kill everybody. That's just a stalemate.
So Lulz says, well, they could win if the gang lures the Ghostbusters to the public, and due to a lawsuit, they can't use their packs. They could maybe do this with Shaggy and Scooby's speed.
I'm gonna say that they can use their packs in this fight, regardless of any
They
lawsuits.
can use their packs.
But
okay,
hitting Shaggy and Scooby with the proto pack would be insanely hard to do because Shaggy and Scooby do have like their Toon Force speed.
They only use positively charged slime in public. I kind of want to see Lulz and Rich the pumpkin fight.
That's not true because we just got a new Ghostbuster movie and they use their proto packs everywhere. They destroyed a whole like town with it.
The original movie stars a real deadly friend, Buffy. Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
and the Scooby-Doo original movie too.
So there you go.
Well, no, because that's Sarah Michelle Gellar. My brain hurts.
Um,
Kirsty Swanson, though, yes.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Daphne,
Has martial arts.
She's taken down big old luchadors and other things.
Looked like the Bane from Batman and Robin.
Basically was. I think she's the strongest of both groups. Winston is definitely the strongest of his group, but I would say he could probably take Freddy in a fight. But
Mr.
I don't.
Flickster has a good point. The Ghostbusters have more experience of real monsters. Now, Shaggy and the gang and 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, those are real monsters. So Daphne, Shaggy, and Scoob absolutely do. And there have been a handful of other occasions, like Zombie Island.
In their first movie with the big bunny rabbit things.
Where the monsters are real.
Yeah.
Also, the Scooby-Doo live-action movie and Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, which, my opinion, best Scooby-Doo movie there is.
Yeah. And, also, Shaggy once turned into a werewolf, and we know that there was other monsters out there.
So Rich says the Ghostbusters are way too intelligent too, and I agree, but I don't think we can discount all of Mystery Inc. Velma is...
She can hold her own with Ray and
Velma
Egon.
could hold her own with Egon. She's extremely intelligent. There have been many episodes where she has talked to other scientists and stuff of varying levels, all kinds of physics, everything. Velma is a genius.
I wouldn't say she surpasses Ray and Egon together, but she can hold her own, definitely.
I don't know if she surpasses, but I think she meets them on their level.
Exactly.
Definitely more than Ray, and surpasses Ray as far as occult knowledge, and meets Egon on his level.
Yeah.
However, I think the hunkiest one of the whole group is Fred.
And he's the useless one in this scenario as well.
He is hunky, and he has an ascot, and he's good at traps. The Ghostbusters have this little trap that if I don't know, if you drove over it with your car it would break. But Fred Jones, he knows how to make a great trap.
I think he'd be nothing but dust and his ascot as they blast him by crossing the streams.
There we dust in an ascot when I blast you. But
though Shaggy's the wild card in Scooby once again, they have such Toon Force. And the Ghostbusters have a cartoon, so I would say that they have the mild Toon Force as well.
agreed.
But their Toon Force doesn't rival Shaggy's and Scooby's.
No. Scooby-Doo versus the Harlem Globetrotters was an interesting episode. And indeed, they met them, but they would have kicked their asses if it came down to it. I think they were in each other's worlds. I think the Ghostbusters would do great in the Scooby-Doo world, but the Scooby-Doo gang wouldn't fare in Ghostbusters world. Well, there's Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. They've handled stuff. Yeah. Velma can't invent ghost hunting equipment, though. Egon is way more intelligent than Velma. Velma has created a Frankenstein's monster. She's created an AI. She's created a lot of stuff.
She doesn't believe in ghosts, so that's the main reason why she doesn't invent something to actually catch ghosts. But I wouldn't put it past her abilities.
Fred is packing, if you know what I mean, and I think you do.
I don't know. This is a hard one, though.
The Ghostbusters have remote control traps, too. Shaggy is an idiot, a lovable idiot. He makes you want to scream.
His idiocracy does usually work out for him, though, like Ash.
In some ways, Ray's kind of an idiot. Seriously, you were not supposed to think of anything. Anything. Not anything harmless.
Nothing at all.
Nothing! Think of nothing. Just think of nothing for 2 seconds. And he can't do that. And if someone says, "Are you a god?" you say yes!
Though I don't know if Shaggy would have replied yes.
I think Shaggy would have failed that, too.
And Scooby also would have failed to think of nothing. He would have thought of some sort of food. So Shaggy. They would have thought of food regardless. They probably would have brought a Marshmallow Man as well. And honestly, that might have saved Ray, because honestly, if you would have all thought nothing, then maybe the universe would have turned into nothing. That would have been our destroyers. We just all become
What
nothing.
if the nothing came for them?
The nothing from a never-ending story came from them.
Fair enough.
So I think, honestly, Ray saved the day with the marshmallows.
Tushy. Robo says, nah, they have 2 ghost-busting devices that are way easier to use. Keep in mind, he's biased. As much as he loves Ghostbusters, if you look at his picture carefully, it is Charlie the Robot. Elisa says, I know that isn't part of this, but Nancy Drew or Hardy Boys. Nancy Drew, every time, all the time. I actually did read those books as a kid, but they have some. Nancy Drew has a couple good movies too. Ghostbusters would kick their asses. Let's not be so hasty, okay? Check out the gun show. Do you know why Fred Jones wears long sleeve shirts? Because you could not handle the gun show. That's why there's no tickets available.
Winston would handle Fred easily.
He would like to maybe handle him, but you can't because you ain't got tickets to the gun show.
Daphne would definitely cancel Venkman.
She would.
That's where that incident would end.
The movie Massacre Show says the real Ghostbusters have Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Toon Force. Slimer and Venkman have similar Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Toon powers.
They do. They're not quite on the level of Scooby-Doo's Toon Force.
Shaggy is a god. Are you a god? Actually, Shaggy is a god. You're kind of right about that.
The meme version, yes.
The meme one would absolutely say yes.
But...
I'm still waiting for Scooby-Doo and the Monster Gremlins' fall. Shaggy would dress up as a god and say yes!
Ghostbusters have crossed over with Ninja Turtles. Batman's crossed over with Ninja Turtles. Scooby-Doo's crossed over with Batman. But I really want my Scooby-Doo crossing over with Ninja Turtles.
I know what the Ghostbusters did last summer. That would be a mashup. Fred can only bench 420. He's dead. What? Shaggy can only bench 420.
Yeah, 420, alright.
I thought you were, like, on Fred's side, Robo.
He's on Scooby and Shaggy's side.
The only reason they're holding their own in this fight is because of Fred.
It's pretty toss-up, honestly. If you tell me who...
This is the most exciting fight of the night. I didn't think it would be, but it is.
I think, honestly, I'm hearing good reasons why both would win, to be honest.
I'm not convinced one way or another.
I'm not either, 100%.
Are we going to let them battle it out and convince us?
I do think Ghostbusters...
I'm going to pull Unusual Suspects. Convince me.
I think the Ghostbusters have better technology. I think the Scooby-Doo's got better youth and some physical abilities.
Actually, they don't have to convince me because my phone's still dead.
But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Robo. Don't come at me with your facts. What are you, a Velma?
You an Egon.
Nerd. I wish I had half of Fred's power. He's so hunky. He is so hunky.
He's capable.
I see a lot of him in you. That's probably why I like you so much. When I first met you, I thought, God, that's a man who would look great in an ascot. But, you know, time will tell. Fred is not overrated, Elisa. Zygma's overrated. You're not overrated, though. So, Ghostbusters are taking the lead.
Anything in here?
Okay. And traps, too. They can be used on their own. Just hold it up in the air and press the trap. They do it in the film and the cartoons. We already got Scooby-Doo in another crossover with Courage the Cowardly Really Dark. But the thing is, in a lot of the Scooby-Doo crossovers, they're team-ups. They're not fighting against them. I can't think of too many where they've gone against them. Maybe the Boo Brothers.
I honestly think since this is like kind of Slimer is an honorary Ghostbuster in the cartoon, and he would scare Scooby and Shaggy away. I don't think he could hurt them, but he'd scare them away. They'd run.
Guys who fight real ghosts versus people, kids that fight people in a mask. Sometimes they're real.
Sometimes
cats and dogs living together.
In fact, even in the pup named Scooby-Doo, they actually meet a friendly ghost, and for some reason they're not afraid of him, but he like helps them expose a fake ghost.
Okay, you and me time. What do we think? Oh, my phone's done charging. What do we think?
I think Shaggy and Scooby have the potential to win this fight, but they could also easily be scared off by the ghosts that the Ghostbusters could unleash on them, because they keep all their ghosts in their thing. They could actually unleash them, and it would scare them off.
Okay, so I think Shaggy and Scooby are good at distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Toon Force. They're fast. Fred's got the traps. Velma's got the intellect. And Daphne has got the hand-to-hand combat. So basically, if we break it down, Velma is both their Ray and, well, in a lot of them, Fred has a lot of occult knowledge too. But Velma's kind of a mixture of Ray and Egon. Mm-hmm. More so Egon.
Yeah.
And none of them are really Venkman at all. But I guess Shaggy and Scooby would be kind of like the lovable aspect of Ray and the wild cardness of Venkman. And Daphne is definitely their Winston because she's the muscle. If you go with the movies, she's got the hand-to-hand combat.
And she would honestly take out Venkman.
And she's been shown to be a great driver.
She'd also be Venkman's distraction, and she could take him out, like physically.
Let's see.
Then again, she's been like captured by so many people with masks that just tie her up. So I don't know.
The kids have been in a lot of traps and stuff, and they've managed to get out. What do the Ghostbusters actually have aside from traps?
They have proton packs that would fry a human.
They can fry you.
Easily. But it would be hard to hit Shaggy and Scooby with that because of the...
It would be really hard to hit them.
It would be hard to hit the other three.
Velma could invent something easily to protect them.
Ghostbusters also have like a protoplasm gun that's like a shotgun.
And the mystery van can turn into a mech.
Yeah.
Like Voltron.
But it's nowhere near as big as the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, but the Statue of Liberty wouldn't be a thing to fight in anyway because it doesn't do much aside from walk.
Walks and smashes windows.
They could be in their mech thing when they're getting shot at with the proton packs.
Yeah, but it would destroy the mech.
Hand to hand, I don't think that the Ghostbusters can beat Mystery Inc.
No, not
Too much Toon Force.
Yeah.
The boys are too fast. Fred is too hunky.
And Winston's the only
Velma's
one that
too,
can fight.
like, got martial arts. And Winston, like, it's not even like he's like a high level of fighting. He's got military training, but that's not going to go against like someone who's got a black belt.
Yeah. I think he could kick Fred's ass, but he wouldn't be able to kick Daphne's ass.
Let's check in with the chat again. Crossing the streams instantly beats anyone, but don't traps only work on spirits? That's true.
Wait, didn't they cross the streams in the new movie and it didn't quite work?
I don't remember. I want an Archie versus Predator versus Cass of Riverdale versus... those are all good things.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters and real Ghostbusters can time travel too.
Wait, that's a different Ghostbusters, isn't
That's
it?
a different one. Shaggy and Scooby versus Slimer in an eating contest. I like that. How a battle of Mr. Inc. can versus Ghostbusters Mobile. I almost kind of wanted them to race in their cars. Fred is Venkman. Okay.
If you say so.
He's hunky.
Sometimes
Ecto-1
he's a
wins
little-
has a built-in trap and a gunner seat. When did Velma ever invent something and use it? She's done it countless times. She's done it in What's New Scooby-Doo. There's that one with the robot that she created the AI. She won like an award for
Even
it.
a pup named Scooby-Doo, she made
Pup
her
named
computer.
Scooby-Doo.
She made her computer that they use.
Mystery Inc. I think she did something too, but definitely in What's New Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Velma would get distracted by Janine and flirt with her, laugh out loud.
Yeah, maybe. I can see that happening.
I don't know. The one in Supernatural, she likes them shoulders, those lumberjack shoulders.
It depends on your version of Velma.
Mystery Mac can shoot fireworks. They crossed the streams in Afterlife and it worked, and it didn't work in the Forest because they needed Egon to help and hold his niece's gun. Okay, so let's see. I don't think the traps aren't going to work on living people. So all the Ghostbusters have is their proton packs. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can trap somebody in a trap.
They can't trap a human being in a trap.
I don't think
They turn into like a spirity thing and they get sucked in. They look like a fart.
They might suck your soul out. Kill you.
They've survived having their souls sucked out in the first movie.
But they didn't. That wasn't a thing where it was just there to easily get them back.
And Daphne was able to row with her tongue.
But there was no I mean, we could get out of that.
I don't think you can put a spirit inside the trap.
I'm not saying. Couldn't
So all they have is their proton packs.
That's not all they have.
What else can they do?
They have the Ecto-1.
They have the Mystery Machine. The Mystery Machine would beat the Ecto-1's ass. Mystery Machine is when I'm saying this as somebody who has the Ecto-1 and the Mystery Machine up on her wall right there. So I'm not biased, but the Mystery Machine is way more advanced than Ecto-1. It's got so much stuff in it.
It's got a surfboard on top of it.
It's awesome.
Sometimes it's got nothing in it.
All right, checking in. Glad I didn't miss everything. Ghostbusters would definitely win. They're smarter and they have great gadgets. They do have other gadgets. The traps can get humans. They go into it numerous times in the cartoons.
Oh, there you
Ghostbusters' weapon of choice is science.
go. I am leaning towards the Ghostbusters. In a physical fight, I don't think they'd win, but they have enough technology. It doesn't have to be physical.
Here's a question, and this is how I'm going to determine it. Because I'm having a hard time picturing them fighting because neither of them would fight other human beings. So this is how I'm going to determine it. This is how we're doing the battle. So for whatever reason, the Ghostbusters have been shut down, and they have lost all access to Winston's funds. So since all their funds were stolen, right?
Where are you going with it?
They were stolen. The boys craft an elaborate scheme using Slimer to make like something look haunted. They pull a Scooby-Doo like villain thing, right? And oh, I got it. Okay, somebody with a lot of money is gonna buy the firehouse before Winston can, right?
Okay.
So the gang, the Ghostbusters gang, try to make it look haunted, and they have Slimer in there, and they put some ghosts and stuff in there, and then they go around and like with masks and stuff. Do you think Mystery Inc. could figure it out and stop them?
Sure, but they can't. That's not fighting them.
I'm just saying a battle on their terms.
They could unmask them. Why not? But also, I could see Ghostbusters being real and busting ghosts, and Velma being skeptical, wants to prove that they're not real and prove that they're false, and then being wrong about it.
Okay, so 15 are viewing, 18 voted. You and I need to vote. Who are you voting for?
I went with Mr. Inc., but I do believe Ghostbusters could win easily.
It's tough. I don't think they'd win easily. I don't see what the Ghostbusters have outside of the proton packs.
I think that would work. They're also, like, they've done a lot in the cartoons that have more than what the Mr. Inc. has done a lot of the time. A lot of the time.
But you voted for Mystery Inc.?
I already voted a while ago, so.
Why did you vote for them?
Because at the time I was thinking they would win, but now I think I've kind of swayed towards the Ghostbusters.
The vote is busted. It is busted?
The vote is... I don't think it's really busted.
Uh...
I think she's just saying Ghostbusters won.
To keep it fair, because I can't decide and you've changed your mind to Ghostbusters, I'm voting for Ghostbusters. How's that?
Alright.
Because I can't decide. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, saying that there are some scenarios where they would win.
I do think
but
there's plenty
20
of
votes, I'm sorry, lols. I'm sorry, but, you know, hey, you love Ghostbusters too. The winner is... Dun, 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 dun. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
Laws actually told me about how he thinks the Ghostbusters actually could win this whole thing.
Huh?
Laws was actually telling me at one point that he thinks the Ghostbusters could actually win this whole thing.
Did you know when Laws was like 4, he and I dressed up as Ghostbusters for Halloween?
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I actually dressed up like Mega Man one time when you guys were Ghostbusters.
Yeah, dude.
We went trick-or-treating together. That was our first Halloween together.
Okay, checking in with the chat before we move on to the next part of the thing before the semifinals. Don't the packs overheat? Mr. Inc. is a hippie van, but a fan one. 15 viewing, yeah. They don't need the fire packs. The packs have a lifespan of 5,000 years. In a fight, Shaggy and Scooby would run away unless they got a Scooby snack. The vote is busted. Ghostbusters superfan, the facts don't lie. With the Ghostbusters would be the adults in charge. Yeah, but several times they hurt themselves due to the packs overheating. No, they don't. In the comics and the games. Okay.
In the games, yes. I don't know about the other stuff. But I do like, you go to throw Scooby that Scooby snack, and Slimer gets it. Because that happens to Scooby all the time when, like, something cute and silly is also in the cartoon. You're sharing the spotlight with Scooby-Doo. They jump up and get his Scooby snack before he can get it.
That's true.
It's only when it's a weakness when it's funny. And Slimer is very funny.
All right, so that was exhausting. That was exhausting. Are you ready? So now we have Constantine versus Ash Williams. I didn't think this one would go. I thought this would be an easier one. I actually thought we might even do 2 tonight. But no, here it is, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, all these humans, right? Weird. We're usually used to creatures and their powers. Some of these humans have powers, obviously. But they are skilled in hunting creatures, usually.
Lols, MM, I need you guys to shake hands and say good game and move on to the next round.
It's a win for me either way. I love Mystery Inc. and I love Ghostbusters, so... And like I said, I voted for...
It was a tough one.
I voted for Mystery Inc.
Different.
I voted
for Ghostbusters.
But honestly, I kind of think I can see why the Ghostbusters won. I could, if it went the other way, I could see why Mystery Inc. would win. It just depends on your versions.
It's not as upsetting as when Guillermo lost to Van Helsing.
Yeah, but then you managed to get Buffy to squeak by him, didn't you?
Buffy earned that shit.
I think she deserves it, but I don't think she got it the way she should have gotten it.
Robo-Muffin! He has a spare proton pack! He would love that.
I had a proton pack when I was a little kid, little ones.
All right, let's get to the semifinals. Constantine versus Ash Williams.
They both have some pretty good luck. Constantine usually drunk and still manages to have luck. Though Constantine does... They both also get their people killed all the time. Like I said, that's one of Constantine's weaknesses, is he has a bunch of people that he keeps in his circle of friends and stuff that he shouldn't. He should cut ties with them. Ash does usually cut ties with people. It seems like that's kind of what he did after he returned back from the medieval times. But got high and unleashed more Dead Knights. They're both kind of idiots.
What do you think would win, though?
Constantine is a lot more book smart than Ash, that's for sure. Though Ash has a more powerful book than Constantine usually does. Though I think Constantine has wielded a Necronomicon of himself. It's not the same Necronomicon that Ash has, but he's wielded it.
We're already getting some good stuff from the chat here. Wayne says, Ash. I like Ash, says Zigma, but Constantine would kick his ass. Ash has never been good versus magic or a smartass with a mouth. Ash is a smartass with a mouth, but he isn't great with magic. Rich says, with realism, you can't... He's still talking about Ghostbusters. Wayne says, Ash has seen it all and survived. I'm at a loss here because I don't know as much about Constantine.
Constantine has defeated some really big bads, but usually with some help in those big bad fights in the comics. He's done some other stuff. I'm not saying he hasn't defeated like people on his own with his own abilities. Ash, though, took on the entire Marvel zombies and survived. He didn't save the world, but he saved himself.
He has insane luck.
He's insanely defeated all the odds.
But then he ended up getting killed by Howard the Duck.
That was not the real Ash, though. That was the Ash of that... That wasn't Ash J. Williams. The Ash of that universe never became a hero because it already had a bunch of superheroes. Like, the whole incident in the cabin was thwarted by superheroes, so Ash never had to step up and be a hero in that version. And he thought, I'm going to finally step up and defeat these zombies, and Howard the Duck ate his head.
I would just say Howard the Duck has the same kind of powers as Ash. He's incredibly lucky in his Toon Force.
Yeah, and that was their Ash, though. Our Ash, the one Ash J. Williams, he traveled to the Marvel Universe and defeated
Ash
them.
versus Constantine. Focus.
I don't know.
Focus. That's what I was saying.
I think Constantine has better skills than Ash, but Ash kind of...
It's hurting you to say that you think Constantine's going to win.
I think I could easily see how he could win,
I think you think Constantine's going to win. You think Constantine's going to win. I can see it in your beady little eyes.
But Ash has like that Three Stooges Toon Force that I think would actually help him in this a lot.
Constantine's got all this magic and shit, though, right?
Yeah, but so does Ash.
Here's the thing I will say. The Book of the Dead, it's wielded an army of dead people. It's wielded, all kinds of monsters, from killer dolls to zombified people to all kinds of stuff. And still, Ash survives, and he's never even been that hurt. He's never been Laurie Strode, like, put on a bed for
Losing his hand is the worst that's happened.
That's the worst that's happened to him. And then
he did it himself.
In any other movie, losing your hand, you'd bleed out or something, or whatever. I mean, look what happened to the guy in Saw, just losing his foot. Mm-hmm. Ash, no, just put a chainsaw on that. It defies all rules of reality.
Well, he curdlized the wound and bandaged it up, but yeah.
He
should have got an infection or something.
It seems like even when he's down, he always finds a way back up. Does Constantine have luck?
He does. He's drunk a lot of the time, but he has bad luck too. In fact, he kind of fucked up so bad one time that the Flash kind of had to reset the universe because they did win, and Constantine was part of this, but.
Who has ever defeated Constantine in battle?
Well, he's no match for Santana, but...
Santana?
Is Antana, yeah.
Santana?
Mm-hmm.
Santana?
Are you making fun of me? Stop. Come on.
Santana, right? No, I'm making fun of her name. Alright. So... Santana, I don't know anything about her either, except for that she looks like she's on the cover of that Blue Oyster Cult album.
Constantine's traveled through hell and all these things as well. And he always lands on his feet, usually, but like I said, he has help. He gets a lot of his friends killed. He's had Batman's help, obviously. For some of
Does he need a lot of help?
In some of his bigger battles, yeah. Like I said, he's had Batman help him. He runs the Justice League Dark, which has Batman and all these other people in it.
Who'd you vote for? I saw you vote. Who'd you vote for?
Who do you think I voted for?
You voted for Ash, and even though you think Constantine would win.
No.
Yeah, you did. You sneaky devil. You're smiling because you know
After
you
the
get
whole Van Helsing thing with Buffy, you're gonna get on me on this.
I genuinely believe that Buffy would beat Van Helsing's ass, but I can see in your eyes that you don't think Constantine would win. Or you think Constantine would win.
I mean, I think whoever wrote the comic would decide who would win.
I think you are an Ash fanboy. That's what I think.
I think Ash would win.
Tell me how. Give me a scenario.
Dumbassery would win. I think his chainsaw or boomstick would eventually catch Constantine. Just because it'd be idiotic luck. Like I said, that's just my guess.
So I say Constantine is... I feel like they'd end up being on the same side with Constantine trying to...
They would always be on... That's what all these fights would be. They'd always be on the same side. I'm going with
Ash has been possessed and stuff before.
And come back from it.
He's like the only character who's managed to do that, which is weird.
Yeah,
Alright, let's check in with the chat. I have a hard time seeing Ash losing as he always is incredibly lucky. I think Ash would get his ass... Saying Ash and ass in the same sentence is hard, but luck is his superpower. I really do have Constantine has escaped hell and other dimensions. Ash has the wild card factor. Ash has luck and never runs out. Constantine's spell would shield any shotgun blast. I mean, Ash is even in the Necronomicon. Even in the newer movie that's very realistic, he's in the Necronomicon as like this great hero, which in their universe, he's like the greatest hero ever. Even though he's an idiot. People say he's an idiot all the time, but he is still able to pull off these crazy things.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Zigma here, and he says that Constantine has a spell that would shield any shotgun blast. Probably a chainsaw too, right?
Up close, yeah.
What aren't you telling us?
If Ash is... It depends. It doesn't from like that close of... It depends on how close you are to Constantine. If you can shoot him. He's been shot before.
We only have 10 votes. I think people are waiting.
It's like a protection bubble, but if you're like within arm's reach or chainsaw reach, it doesn't work.
So it sounds like you think Ash is going to win because of his luck, mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
If Constantine won, it would be because of his magic. Rich does make a good point. Ash is way smarter than he lets on. Constantine would give up and fight someone easier. Constantine was super smart, and he knows all about the occult. He knows magic. I love Ash, but he doesn't stand a chance against Constantine. This is tough.
I think Constantine would be... Ash does wield the Necronomicon. I think Constantine would be too distracted with the Necronomicon itself.
When does Ash wield the Necronomicon? In Evil Dead 1 and 2, it gets open and he deals with the after effects. In Evil Dead 3, he doesn't do shit with it. The wizardy guy does. And Ash doesn't even know how to properly do the Klaatu Barada Nikto. And then in Ash vs. Evil Dead, he gets high and fucks it up. But he never wields it. He never controls it.
Video games. Comics and video games.
Okay,
He actually does spells in Fistful of Boomsticks and Regenerator. He can actually do stuff.
Like what? What does he do?
Spells that work on the things that you need to like get by.
Ash has done a spell.
Yeah.
What comic? Name your source.
Fistful of Boomstick. Anyways, he also wields the Kandarian dagger as well. These are part of his things. The fact that he has it, he even has it in the possession. Yes, he gets stoned and releases it, but he wields it. It's his thing. It is a big problem of the... So he wields it to summon the Army of Darkness to slow down the Marvel zombies. There you go. He summoned Army of Darkness, the Army of Darkness, from Army of Darkness, to fight the zombies from Marvel Zombies. They pretty much plowed through it because they're just a bunch of skeletons, and this is like zombie Hulk and zombie other Captain America stuff, but it was there to slow down. He's used it to open portals. In fact, that's actually how he escaped the Marvel zombies. He went into a werewolf zombies.
Okay, so Rich says if we can't have the Ghostbuster comic or games involved, then neither can Ash. I'm going to agree with that. For Ash, we're going to stick with the movies. Yeah, we'll just stick with the movies. And the TV show. Movies and TV show. For Constantine, I don't know much about Constantine. He's got a TV show, he's got animated movies, he's got comic, right? And he's got a Keanu Reeves movie.
I guess we can only count his movie and TV show then.
Do you still think Constantine will lose?
No, because he doesn't do anything that impressive in either of those.
Alright, then to keep it fair, I'm voting for Constantine because it seems like he's got a lot more powers.
Yeah.
This is really hurting you, isn't it?
You're really hurting me.
What? You love me.
No.
What?
I'm just kidding.
What?
Yes, I do.
You're so mean today.
I'm mean today.
Just leave it. Oh, look at that. He's got a chainsaw.
Yeah, the chainsaw fight, Ash wins. He can do it without his hand.
I agree with that.
Especially that.
I mean, I like Ash more. I'm not that interested in Constantine. I've only seen a few of his movies.
Ash Gum. Shoot him while he's drunk.
This is really close. How many people are watching?
I don't know.
16 people are watching, 13 votes. So let's get at least a couple more votes because it's so close. It's so close.
Right.
You already voted, didn't you?
Yeah, I already voted. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're trying to vote again?
No,
Huh?
I'm not trying to vote again. Just making sure that it's watching.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
Now what?
Huh.
I agree. I think with what Rich says that Ash has dumb luck and he is smarter than he lets on.
He has 3 Stooges Toon Force.
This is true. He does. Is it tied? Constantine just took the lead.
There you go.
Oh, it's tied! Oh my gosh, this is so exciting! I'm exhilarated.
You're exhilarated.
Yes. Are you gonna be sad if Ash loses?
No, don't worry
No, I'm
about it.
sad.
Don't be sad about anything.
Give us your pitch, man.
Alright, what pitch? I already did. Constantine's a drunk. That's my pitch.
Ash is still so underrated. Guys, this is tough. A tie? Ash just hit the lead. Ash just hit... Did you do something?
No, I don't
Okay.
I don't even have my phone anymore.
Uh-huh. I believe you. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. I love you.
You do. I'm not even trying to like convince them like you were with the Buffy and Van Helsing.
Sandy says, no, because I firmly believe it. It wasn't a fan thing. I firmly believe it.
I know, but you were like, I can't believe that she's losing.
Because she's so much more powered than he is. I thought it was like a squash match, frankly. No, Ash took the lead again. 17. God, this is going back and forth so much. I'm scared to stop it. What should we do?
Give it a little bit and see if someone ties it up again. If not,
17 people are watching. 17 viewers.
well, there you go.
Constantine versus Ash. I'm going to change the picture. Maybe that will do something. What? You don't know.
Also, Ash lives to be an old man. I don't know if Constantine ever makes it that far.
All right, you got to fight your case, man.
Ash makes it to be an old man. Constantine, I think he dies young.
Okay. So, I gotta say, Constantine's last anime movie did suck, but damn did he take a beating in it. Ash, I will say, he goes through horrible stuff all the time, but honestly, like you said, aside from him losing his hand, he's never taken out, really. He's never had to lay in a hospital bed, ever.
I mean, I'm sure, and like off camera, maybe that happens, but...
Nonsense! Nonsense!
But yeah, he's basically just healed up because he like takes it like a Three Stooge, break all kinds of stuff. He's got you can't hit that chin.
He's just a block it like this.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the Three Stooges where nothing really hurts them. They break stuff and they saw each other and go oh.
19 votes.
Ash is still winning.
He's got the chin, Ash for sure.
It ain't a glass chin, that's for sure.
All right, I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. Ash has a more well-known body of work. This is intense.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on if you follow DC or not. I think Constantine has plenty of it. But in the horror community, I do believe Ash does.
This is the closest fight I've ever seen in all of Fight Night. Welcome to Fight Night. Ash wouldn't last in Constantine's world, but Constantine would kick Ash in Ash's world. But I still think Ash would win, as Constantine wouldn't kill a human. It doesn't matter if they wouldn't kill, because in those cases, we would do a knockout. Who could get the other one to knock out?
Or regardless, I mean...
Or at least win the battle, like defeat the other one.
This is also just a specific fight anyway. They wouldn't fight each other in real life, so just if they're going to fight each other, they'll kill each other. That's just the thing we're changing.
I keep seeing Constantine as a goofy Keanu Reeves.
Me too. I hated that.
All right, I'm calling it 19 votes. That's the most votes we've had in this whole battle today.
I know you had like 20-something, I believe, earlier.
Ash is the winner. What do you have to say for yourself?
Hail to the king.
Groovy. Now, oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting them goosebumps.
Ash just tends to beat things he shouldn't beat, where Constantine is pretty expected to win on most of his fights.
So we have in the semi-finals. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Sam and Dean Winchester versus Buffy Summers, and then the Ghostbusters versus Ash Williams. Dude.
These are weird fights.
Dude, you're a weird fight.
It's where it gets weird because they're pretty paired off pretty evenly until it gets to this point where it's like, okay. But it's your dream fight.
It's good. Okay, so here's the thing. I can argue both of them. I've thought about this so many times.
Mm-hmm.
What do Sam and Dean have that Buffy doesn't? They are great with all forms of shotguns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffy can dodge, she has, I don't want to say dodge because she doesn't do like the Neo thing, but she can evade being shot at. But these guys are like the top of their game. They're expert huntsmen. Not only that, they're good with blades. I don't think I've seen them use a stake, but they can use all the weapons she can as well as she can.
Mm-hmm.
She has superhuman strength, but they've gone against many things with superhuman strength, like vampires, Wendigos, all kinds of things like that. They've gone against the devil himself.
Yeah, and God.
And God.
Well, they got in a fist fight with God once and survived. He was weakened.
But Buffy has gone against a god herself.
God, yeah, God.
Buffy has gone against a true demon that was kaiju size.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for this one, we're not counting the comics for either of these. I know Supernatural has comics too. Not counting the comics, just
or
to keep it
anime.
simple. Or the anime, no. This is just the show. But yeah, there's more of them, but Buffy has gone against a army of Ubervamps.
She had some help, but I mean, she still took on a lot of them by herself.
They have all died and come back.
Yeah. They're all good at the Jesus resurrection thing.
They all have powerful friends. However, Buffy does not rely on anyone to heal her ever.
Yeah.
Buffy has, even when she got shot, she went to the hospital. Willow never ever heals her. Willow does bring her back from the dead. But nobody ever heals her. I think the worst example of that is Charmed, where they're constantly being healed. But Sam and Dean are constantly being healed by Castiel from season 3 onward. Without Castiel, before they got as skilled as they were at the end, I think they would have died a while ago. Castiel, he's even on all the DVD covers and stuff. He's as much a part of the team as they are. I think without Castiel, Buffy's going to win.
She definitely is stronger than them and probably could beat them both up in a fist fight. I don't know though, with weapons...
She's as good as they are.
Well, she is, but there's two of them. And even though
she's gone against way more people than just two.
Zygma says that Sam and Dean killed God while Buffy killed sexy vampires. No, she doesn't kill the sexy vampires. She dates them.
She bones the sexy vampires.
She kills the ugly
god
ones.
too. She killed Glorificus, who is also a god. They don't have your standard heaven and hell. They have the powers that be in the Buffyverse. But yeah, Glorificus is a god, and she did destroy Glorificus. She's gone up against things as strong as angels and as God in their verse.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has superhuman strength. She has superhuman ability to regenerate. She has superhuman reflexes. She can do all the weapons that they do. She is as smart as they are.
They're probably better with certain guns and snipers and stuff like that.
Except for guns.
Yeah.
So they have guns in their corner. She has the fact that she has superhuman strength.
Mm-hmm.
They have gone up against things with superhuman strength. She's gone up against things with guns.
Yeah.
Her humanity can be the best of her sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a battle to knock out. Who's going to tie the other one up, essentially.
Ariel says it's the battle of the WB stars.
Yeah, CW.
Yeah. Well, that's what it lives
checking in with the chat. It's okay, we're done with that one. Sam and Dean killed Zygma. Sam and Dean have each other. They do in a lot of fanfic. I adore Sam and Dean, but I've seen Buffy take on multiple things at once that are just as powerful as Sam and Dean, so I'm going with Buffy. Even the three who were those uber vampires, They were super muscular and stuff. She takes them out like no problem.
Yeah.
She's gone against the judge, the master, the mayor, so many things. Buffy is hotter.
Rolling on the floor lap.
Not as hot as Dean.
Yeah, Sam and Dean are actually very considered to be hot, so.
I'm Pan, so I think I'm able to weigh in here. I'm going to go with Dean.
Dean's the hottest
The
of the
hottest
three?
of the three.
Alright.
But then I would say Buffy.
I'd say
Sam
Buffy.
and Dean have more weapons and a car. Buffy don't need no car, son. Yes, that car. Don't know much about either. Do they have powers? Fate decided would be offended. I've never watched Supernatural. It's the Battle of WB Stars. Not a fair battle. There's two of them. I think it's fair because she has superpowers.
Yeah, she's got the strength and healing factor.
So I do think it's fair because she has superpowers and there's two of them. And they don't really have too much difference between the two of them in their powers. But I'm giving this to Buffy. Buffy has gone against the Uber vans in season 7. The whole Hellmouth is filled with them, and she's able to hold her own. Granted, she has an army of slayers with her.
Yeah.
But she's gone against the 3 who are big Uber vamps. She's fought mobs of vampires countless times. I mean, so have they gone against more than one vampire. But Buffy, I don't know, I think she would do it.
I'd say her Uber vamps are more dangerous than most of the vampires they've ever gone up against.
The Uber vamps are more deadly than their vampires.
Dean was killed by just some vampires once again. But.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's just Dean was ultimately killed by a vampire because he had a bad day. But even if Buffy has a bad day, she's still super strong.
It wasn't necessarily a bad day. It was actually foretold that she was killed by the Master, but then Xander breathed life back into her.
Mm-hmm. But she came back from it.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them are extraordinary. Buffy is the greatest slayer of all time. They're the greatest hunters of all time.
Yeah.
They've all done incredible things, but I gotta say Buffy.
She's not gonna be wasting. Sometimes they get into fist fights with things that are way more stronger than them, and they still win because the villains will use force push. Buffy ain't gonna use force push.
Okay, the strongest being in all of Buffy is Willow, by far. Which we'll get into that later, but Willow, and not even touching the comics, she could single-handedly destroy the world, and she still didn't kill Buffy, and they did fight.
Yeah.
Buffy didn't stop her. Ultimately, Xander was able to get her humanity back, but she didn't stop Buffy either.
Yeah.
Buffy is really hard to get rid of. I think Willow would have knocked the Winchesters aside like they were nothing.
Oh yeah.
She's a badass.
A lot of people knock them like they're nothing, and they still end up winning the fight.
That's true. That's true. It's a tough one, but I still think Buffy would win. Let's see, what else has Buffy gone against? Season 7. She went against the first evil, which is like the equivalent of the devil.
Yeah.
The first evil is the oldest evil of all time. It created everything that's ever been evil, and Buffy defeated it. Buffy blew up hell. The boys escaped hell. Buffy blew the damn thing up. Her and a bunch of slayers fought a mob of Uber vampires, and they defeated the first true evil and blew up hell. There's a crater in Sunnydale where the mouth to hell used to be. The boys may have escaped hell, but they couldn't blow it up.
They reinvent it, they put it under new management several times. They got Crowley into power and then later Rowena in power, but they've managed to take out people who run in hell, but also when they fought Lucifer and stuff, they had Castiel and other angels to help them.
Buffy's villains constantly evolve. She constantly meets them. It starts off with the master vampire. Then she goes against, the love of her life, who's one of the strongest vampires of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Then she goes against a true demon, who's basically a kaiju.
Yeah.
Then she goes against a whole team of uber nerds, who are basically like the Ghostbusters with science and stuff, and wins against them. She wins against a Frankenstein's monster. Then she wins against a god. She has gone against God and the first evil and won. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets even bigger in the comics, which we're not getting into, but she's always able to meet the fight. The Winchesters, I feel like they plateaued around season 3. Yeah, up until season 3, their villains were getting harder and harder. After season 3, all the way to 15, it's just demons and angels. It became the Demon and Angel show. Occasionally, there's something different. But it's almost always, what are the angels doing now to fuck up Sam and Dean?
And even when they beat God, they had to use a Nephilim.
They did. They had to use a Nephilim. You know, they've gone against the darkness and stuff, but even then, they had to use God. They couldn't defeat a god by themselves. Buffy did.
Yeah. Though they were pretty good at killing those, what are they called, from Purgatory. With the cleaners. Because they were very overpowered, but then cleaning material was like what killed them.
Oh, yeah. Those weird things. The turducken-y things. Then Borax killed them.
Yeah, Borax killed them. Like, those things were actually more powerful than demons and angels, but they had a weird weakness that Sam and Dean could exploit. And actually kill them pretty easily by themselves.
Ah, why is Ben Grimm getting put in timeout? Okay. Alrighty. Let's check in with the chat. Sam and Dean have 4 clover up their asses. You could argue so does Buffy. Hey, he is called Castiel. He is called Castiel, but he is not in this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Buffy can't use Dark Willow. Or any Willow. Yeah. Danny, did you see my tweet? And Buffy put up with Cordelia. She did. I vote Buffy. I can't judge Supernatural because I've never watched it. Buffy helped turn Spike from evil to good. Buffy got drowned by the Master, thus Faith. But then she came back.
I'm not on Twitter right now, but I will check Ariel after this is over.
It's very complex. If the Pizza Man truly loves the babysitter, why does he keep slapping her rear? Perhaps she has done something wrong. I agree. Both versions of hell are very different, though. That was a Castiel quote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. He was watching a porn.
No worries, Wayne.
I think the Winchesters win because Buffy's really just insane and in an asylum.
Hey, I like Scary. Who do you think would win, Buffy or the Winchesters? I think Buffy would win. Buffy has gone against the first evil and a god, and she took them out without needing an angel to heal her.
It wasn't real, though. She was really just in a mental hospital imagining all of it.
Oh, don't even get into that.
That's a whole episode where...
That's a whole fan theory thing.
Well, that's how the episode ends.
And it was like a djinn thing. Okay, Buffy had help. Buffy does have help sometimes, but a lot of times she has to go do the final thing by herself. To defeat Glory, she jumped into that damn vortex by herself. She sacrificed herself for the world.
Yeah.
The Winchesters have already won. I'll see in a second. And I never watched Supernatural either. Please and thank you, Danny. I must watch Supernatural. Supernatural is really good.
You should watch both of these shows.
But Buffy is better. It's a better show. She's a better hero. And she would kick their freaking supernatural asses. How many people are watching? 22 people are watching now?
You got 23 votes.
And I got 23 votes.
I think it's time to call.
Did you vote?
Yes, I did.
Who'd you vote for?
Buffy.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. Though I could see the Winchesters killing her. I think one of them just has to distract her enough. The other one snipes her. She'd probably kill one of them. But
thanks, everyone who's taking care of the bots for me. I appreciate it.
I think if the long range, they have it in a long range fight.
In the final battle, what Willow does is she makes it to where any girl who has the potential to be a Slayer is a Slayer. But she doesn't do anything to make Buffy any stronger than she already is. She is given a special weapon, a scythe, by basically the equivalent of that old knight guy in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yeah. But nothing is ever done to enhance Buffy, because Buffy don't need it. Buffy doesn't need to be possessed by a demon. Buffy doesn't need the Mark of Cain. Buffy doesn't need...
In fact, I feel like originally they were going to give Buffy, like, everybody, all the powers that could have been, but Buffy said no, just wake their powers up. In fact, they were going to give Buffy all of the power of all the Slayers, but instead she's like, no, we need a whole army. It can't just always be me. She's
also just more heroic. There's an episode of Heart on Supernatural where, without even considering other options, I think it's mostly because they have to leave town, Sam shoots the girl he likes because she's a werewolf, even though she's a perfectly nice, normal human being when she's not.
Yeah.
They have never done that on Buffy. If you're a werewolf, if you're a good person when you're not a werewolf, you just get locked up. They don't kill people.
Even Angel dated a werewolf that way.
So, not only would she kick their asses, she's the better hero.
Yeah.
She kicks ass. It's a better show for 40-year-old men to watch that have issues with Edie. I have no idea what you're talking about. I like the Angel show, too.
Though, Sam and Dean do get better at
Buffy
that.
Buffy is better than Supernatural, Mummy!
Sam and Dean do get better at not killing everybody that they have to.
All right, even though it breaks my heart, everyone here is dead to me.
You wanted your dream match.
Supernatural
You got it.
wins.
Why are you upset?
Yeah, my dream match turned into a nightmare.
Because you wanted Buffy to
It
beat
turned
this
into a nightmare.
He just wanted the Buffys to beat
Okay,
the
now
witches.
you can let it go because at least your Ashley J made it. I think. Oh, whoops!
I voted for
did I
Buffy.
click Buffy? No, I'm kidding.
You voted for Constantine. I voted for Buffy, so I don't know. I think she
Am I
would.
sleeping on the couch today?
No, nobody's sleeping on any couches unless you want to. The dogs like it when
sleep there together.
the dogs like it when you sleep on the couch.
No, Danny and I think that's part of what makes a good like friendship and definitely a good relationship. But you should be able to have a funny, silly battle about horror movie characters fighting and get passionate about it and get energetic, and everything's okay afterwards. Like debate is fun, guys. It is okay to argue. It is okay to disagree. It's exhilarating. It's fun. So don't take our debates here too seriously. We're just
Plus, this is all fictional.
we're very passionate about characters we love.
None of this is canon regardless. This is all fictional. And honestly, anybody on this list could win as long as they were in a story that was written that they would win.
Donnie bugged the hell out of me too. We agree on that. Supernatural is
Donnie,
the best of shows about dude hunters. It's not better than Buffy. Supernatural wins, but Wayne voted Buffy, and therefore Wayne is my favorite.
Oh, if we're just going on best shows, it's Ash vs. Evil Dead, and we only need 3 seasons to prove that.
Moving right along.
But we're not going by who had the best show.
Moving right along. It's okay, because I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. Gory, what's on your shirt? Mine's Buffy. It's Buffy from the movie. From Henry High. And, all right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Are you exhausted?
This is a weird fight that's coming up.
I'm exhausted. So, another one where they are outgunned. It's the Ghostbusters versus Ash.
This is a weird fight.
This has been the weirdest battle royal we've had so far, because normally they work themselves out, kind of.
Yeah.
Today's is weird, don't you think? What do you think?
I don't know. That's just usually there's always a couple weird ones in there.
I think it's fun though, because you would never think about it. Then you have to think about it more, because
you have to nerd out on like
it's
why you
it's
think they
normal
win.
to say like Ash versus like I don't know, Constantine or something, but it's not normal to be Ash versus Ghostbusters. People just don't think of that.
Yeah, it's a weird fight to think
It's
of.
only something that can happen by accident in something like this. Also, by the way, if you like Fight Night on Sundays, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please give us a thumbs up.
Now, I'm biased.
I'm out
but
of drinks.
I'm gonna give you my pitch why I think Ash wins this. He got stoned and unleashed the Deadites like he did in his show. I don't think the Ghostbusters are quite handling the Deadites as well as they would handle other undead creatures like ghosts. In fact, Egon was killed in his chair knowing what he was up against. And
Have you noticed the evil Lex Luthor-y tone to your voice right now?
I
Sorry to
think
interrupt. Resume.
Jean becomes a Deadite. The Ghostbusters don't know what to do other than try and trap her. Ash cuts her into bits. Same thing as the Deadites spread throughout the Ghostbusters. Ash then hunts and kills them. But
oh, okay. I think the by the way, did you see MM's shirt today? In his video promo for Fight Night?
it said Danny on it, didn't it?
It said, Danny, I'm pregnant.
He would be.
But I think you finally done one thing to end that love affair. He says, Ghostbusters have every trait of Ash and more. Bankman has Ash's traits,
His
luck, and more. Plus, there's
personality.
3 other guys, too.
I don't know if Bankman has his luck, but he definitely has his personality on hitting on everything that he can.
I'm going to say both sides have incredible luck. The Ghostbusters have come from... every time it seems like there's no hope, the Ghostbusters turn it around. Same thing with Ash. Ash, it very rarely seems like he's completely screwed, but there are a couple moments, like when he buries Linda, where you're like, everything's lost for him. But he still does manage to turn it around, and even, especially in the show, he has a couple people who are close to him that die, like his dad. So,
Ash is more willingly to open up the Necronomicon and unleash evil than the Ghostbusters are to open up their ghosts. And even if they did, that wouldn't really bother Ash. I mean, he might run around scared from ghosts, but the Deadites would be a bigger problem for the Ghostbusters than ghosts would be for Ash, because he would ignore them in this fight. He certainly wouldn't be wasting his time with them.
I have to agree with what Rich says. Venkman is all luck. He's terrible at his job but wins everything. It's amazing that movie is as popular as it is, with how easily people get canceled today.
Right.
Venkman is a sexual harassment suit waiting to happen.
But
So,
other
I
than
agree.
getting slime on him, what has really happened to him that he's never had to been physically beat up in any of those?
Well, they fight like a lot of non-corporeal stuff, but I mean, looking at the team, which would include Rick Moranis' character, he gets beat up by one of those dogs.
Which one of them is willing to cut off their own hand and put a protoplasm on
They haven't had to yet.
Exactly, because they've never really dealt with Deadites. Deadites, yes. Sorry.
I got you, baby.
Can't say things right now.
They dealt with children in the new movie.
Yeah, and they teamed up with them. And the kids
yeah.
did most of the heavy lifting. They showed up at the end. And I'd say Ash is more useful in his old age. The Ghostbusters...
Okay, Mommy's on your side. She says Ash would just saw their heads off.
Yeah.
Mommy is a wild card, don't you think?
They
Like, you never know where she's going to go. Good night, Wayne. Thanks for hanging with us. The Ghostbusters have weapon advantage. All four of them have guns. Streams are a lot easier to control and aim with. Strength in numbers, and all the weapons overpower Ash. And it's common sense. F the new movie. Here's the thing. Once again with the Ghostbusters, I like the Ghostbusters. I voted for them in the last round because I couldn't decide. But it comes down to they have proton packs. They have some other gadgets and stuff, but I don't know if they have anything that would really go against somebody who is this historical, like, savior figure against, like, Deadites. Somebody who's taken out an army of the dead. I don't know if they have a weapon for that. They don't have weapons that deal with, like, corporeal monsters. The closest I can think would be Vigo in the second movie, but they destroy Vigo.
Like I said, Ash, you said he took on an army of dead. He's also unleashed an army of dead several times. That's how he slowed down the Marvel zombies. It's how he's done a lot of stupid shit. He did it while high on accident in the new show. He unleashes demons, and some of those demons, like, especially those weird twitchy ones with, like, weird, like, almost liquor faces.
They're
Those are
almost kind
very
of like a cross between something Resident Evil and something in Silent Hill.
Yeah, those are very dangerous. Ash has gone up against them. I don't know the Ghostbusters would handle these type of creatures.
I'm not going to give you as much shit on this one just because, yeah, I mean, Rich says they beat a god, but Ash has gone against so many crazy things. He's had his ass, so hard to say Ash when we're talking about Ash. He's had his butt literally handed to him, like, so many times, and he just hops up like it ain't no thing.
As Joe Bob said, he's spry as fuck.
He's spry
Even
as
in his
fuck.
old age, he is spry as fuck. The Ghostbusters can barely move around at all in their old age.
They have proton packs to shoot, proton beams at him, but I don't think that, I think he would, like, deflect it with his chainsaw or do something crazy.
And Winston's the only one that was ever in good shape. That was the Ghostbusters. Like,
That's true.
Physically good shape at any point. The rest of them are nerds, and Bankman, as much as I love him,
But
not
yeah,
in
we're
good
not
shape.
saying that his bad guys against the Ghostbusters. We're just saying because he defeated them, that he could survive the Ghostbusters. Like trying to say like other things they've defeated.
Plus, he can unleash this chaos that they would deal with more than if they, hypothetically, if they unleashed their chaos, he wouldn't deal with it. He wouldn't care. It was someone else's problem. If he unleashes...
That's right. Sorry, I remember Lucy Lawless' character. She's kind of like a god.
She is.
She is a god.
She's a very powerful demon.
She's at least on par with Gozu. Gozer the Destroyer. Gozu.
Well, I wouldn't know.
Whoa, mommy!
I don't know if her destructive.
Mommy says Ash is hotter.
Well, there you go. Therefore, he wins. I don't know if he's hotter than.
Mummy's full of random stuff tonight. Dude. like I've known my mummy my entire life. Well, at least around the time she found me beneath a gooseberry bush. But I've known her almost my entire life.
Your entire conscious life, anyways.
And seriously, like, she's a wild card, dude. Like, more so than even, like, Charlie Day or Ash. Like, my mom is a wild card.
Of course, yes, he would definitely join them. This is a hypothetical who would win a fight, and we can't give you that scenario,
Well,
which is definitely the most likely.
Gozer is kind of like a god, too. It's a little different, but it's God in the same way that Glorificus is a god. God in the same way that Gozer is a god. God in the same way that Ruby is a god. They're all gods.
Ruby and Ash vs. Elm, she might not have the destructive power of Gozer, but she won't, like, let you choose your thing. She'll just straight up kill you. She doesn't, like, stand around and play with you like Gozer does.
She turned someone into a human book. She did a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, she's more vicious than Gozer. Even if
She's
she doesn't have
way more evil.
She wouldn't stand around and, like, let you choose
And
your
Ash
own
has kicked
destroyer.
her ass 5 ways to Sunday.
Yes.
Now she's completely powerless.
And other than he has had Pablo and Kelly, for the most part, Ash does a lot of his stuff on his own. He's not relied on a team.
If we don't vote for the Ghostbusters, though, Rich is going to stop being our friend. Like, I can sense it. He's going to give us, like, a cease and desist on friendship.
No.
I wish he was here for this one, because he's so passionate.
And plus, okay, so now I'm going to point out this. The Ghostbusters proton packs beat Ash's boomstick. His boomstick's just as deadly, but he'd have to get closer, and there's 4 of them, so yeah, I would say in a lot of sense they have the long range.
I disagree with what Rich says, but Ash has way more help. In the first movie, he has 0 help. His friends are basically human body bags.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do shit. In the second movie,
Same thing.
the daughter of Nobi comes, and she does help out a little bit.
She opens the portal.
It's all pretty much him. In Army of Darkness, he almost single-handedly fights the Army of Darkness by himself. Like, King Henry's men help and stuff, but they're not that useful.
Well, they fight skeletons. He also does all the heavy lifting when it comes to anything big or bad.
He fights evil Ash and stuff.
He fights the Deadites. He fights evil Ash. He fights one in a pit. He fights the
Oh, dude.
she-bitch.
I am a god of Australia. Ha 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 ha. Honestly, Wayne Turner surviving Australia, I think he could defeat everything. Ash has a full team in Ash vs. Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, Danny.
He does, but he also unleashes the Deadites. And that I will give him, because that's a Necronomicon. And even though they're not going to help Ash win this fight, their chaos will help create the chaos he needs to win the fight. And it's something that he can summon. And it's not necessarily his bidding, so they're not a team member.
I think Kelly would take them all. I think it's tough. I don't know. I feel like what the Ghostbusters are able to bring to a fight isn't anything that Ash couldn't defeat.
And like I said, even in his old age, he's spry as fuck. They're not. And they never really were, other than Winston.
Winston's spry as fuck.
But the other 3 were never in, like, fighting shape. The Chainsaw Maniac
I
is
think with the thing
something that
with them being 4 of them, it only works in a hand-to-hand fight, but it's not going to be a hand-to-hand fight. He's got his chainsaw and his boomstick. They've got proton packs. So, yeah, there's more proton packs available, but they always end up doing that thing where they go buzzing into one proton thing.
Which they're not supposed to ever do.
I know, they do. 15 votes. How many people are watching? Hopefully they haven't, like, abandoned us. 17.
I haven't even technically voted yet, so...
I feel like you should vote for Ghostbusters.
I mean, I think you know who I'm going to vote.
Just because Rich is going to be really mad at you.
We'll see. Let me think about it.
You're like, friendship.
Loyalty.
Because he really cares about it. But I don't know. I think Ash would win.
Like I said,
my heart of hearts.
I think their proton packs, and there's 4 of them, outbeat his boomstick, but that's only I give him a long-range advantage there, but... They technically could summon all the ghosts by unleashing all the ones they've caught, but he could do the same thing with the Necronomicon, and I think he would. Like, I don't
Let's look up weaknesses online, alright, for Ash.
He's also more selfish, and doesn't have, like... Venkman's selfish, but...
Okay, so it says, for weaknesses, Ash is arrogant and mentally unstable. You can say the same about Venkman.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking up the wiki on it to try and make this more...
They are more intelligent and have, like, a team.
He's really strong. He's really fast. He can dodge shots from his own boomstick. He has really good stamina. And Ghostbuster weaknesses.
I don't know. Can we find anything? They're old.
Don't be mean, Dan.
They're frail.
They don't have like a wiki page.
Because they're just normal humans with average abilities, but they have their intelligence and their teamwork. You know what?
20 votes.
Hold on.
Did you vote yet?
Not yet.
You haven't decided?
Well, I think I know who I want to vote for, obviously.
Ash actually does lose no matter who wins the vote.
Yeah, he will destroy probably the whole universe to get it. He beat the Marvel Zombies by ditching out and letting the world be destroyed.
Actually does lose no matter who wins the vote.
Alright.
Who'd you vote for?
I haven't voted yet.
I am mostly in the minority now. I voted Ghostbusters. Buffy, I am the only one here in Australia. I don't have a complex being a minority person. I voted for Buffy, and I voted for Ghostbusters the first time, but this time I did 22 votes. Did you vote?
I just did on them. I let them watch me vote.
All right, that's it. I gotta give it, dude. I hate it too, Rich. I hated to see Guillermo lose. I hated to see Buffy lose, but that's just the way it goes sometimes, dude.
I voted for the Ghostbusters there, but I do think Ash would win in a lot of reasons.
Do you think Ash would be Ernest?
I don't know. That's actually really hard to say.
Okay, fine. Whoever wins this final and goes against Ernest, that's the bonus round. I'm not even joking. I'm not kidding.
This one's gonna be a lot harder for Ash, though. I don't know if he's gonna win this one.
Sam and Dean Winchester versus Ash. It's getting hard.
I think Sam and Dean might.
That's
have
what she
this
said.
one. I think Sam and Dean. There's two of them. I think Ash could take one of them. I think Ash could definitely take Sam. I don't know if he'd take Dean. With Sam and Dean, I'm gonna probably give it to the
I feel like the
Winchesters.
Winchesters have a lot of luck too.
They do. Even if you take away their god luck, they still have a lot of luck. Plus, there's just two of them, and this is more of a fight that they would be more prepared for. The Ghostbusters, like I said, even if Ash unleashes the Deadites, Sam and Dean's gone up against shit like the Deadites. They actually are prepared for that kind of stuff. And if they knew that if for whatever Ash was their prime target, regardless if Deadites are running around causing chaos, they could still probably take him out. 2-on-1 in a fight, so it's unfair there. He might get a lucky chainsaw and kill one of them. But killing both of them, plus they're just really good at hand-to-hand combat. That's different than the Ghostbusters, where I can only say...
I knew he was going to say that the moment you said there's two of them. There's 4 Ghostbusters with nukes. But when did the Ghostbusters actually nuke anybody?
Exactly, and if they did release the nuke, it would kill them all, and that'd be a stalemate. You can't do that. They wouldn't survive it.
All right, I'm going to take this one for a sec. I think Dean is... I think they're both smarter than Ash, but they also both have a lot of luck. They both also have this at least as much resiliency as Ash. They've died and come back. I mean, I think Buffy would beat Ash, so they beat Buffy. I would say Sam and Dean.
Like I said, I don't think unleashing the Deadites would do much in this fight, and that was where my big kind of thing of that would cause enough chaos. Plus, there is 4 Ghostbusters, but 3 of them can't fight. I'm sorry, they have no hand-hand ability at all. And Winston probably couldn't take on Ash.
We're not talking about that one anymore.
I know, but I'm answering his question.
Okay.
Sam and Dean could take on somebody like Ash. They could avoid his chainsaw, probably.
I think what hurt the Ghostbusters is they have no real hand-to-hand combat skills. Mm-hmm. And they don't have a large range of weapons.
Exactly.
Ash has more in both of those. And same thing with the Winchesters. They have a much bigger arsenal. They have gone against much bigger things than Ash. And the things they have faced are much bigger than the things Ash has faced.
Yeah.
So
and
I think the Winchesters would win.
Like I said, I think unleashing Deadites would completely cause chaos for the Ghostbusters and they wouldn't know what to do. But Sam and Dean know how to do that. That happens all the time. Demons get unleashed all the time in their world. And even when there are demons and ghosts running around, like possessing the earth, they still focus on their big bad if that's their prime target, and they still take it down. I hate to say it, Ash. Right. I do give Ash the Three Stooges luck, Toon Force type that he has.
Checking with the chat, Sam would shoot Ash while he's still talking. I think it'd be harder than that to take out Ash.
I think Dean might shoot Ash while he's still talking.
Dean's more likely to shoot Ash, but I think it's gonna be a battle. But I think Ash is gonna lose.
Dean is willing to get a lot more dirty. Sam was when
Wayne,
he lost his soul.
If you haven't seen it, at least listen to the argument, make your choice there. Like, I wasn't super familiar with, like, Nick, but, you know, we've got to be fair, dude. In Great Britain, Crossing the Streams has a nuclear steam blast. Oh, in Ghostbusters, sorry. Sam and Dean work together. One person fighting Ash will distract Ash and the rest will do the job. Wayne, there are 15 seasons of Supernatural. Yeah. Deadites can't be in it. Each person is directly prepared for their own world, just one-on-one. No, there's no Deadites in this fight. There's no Deadites in this fight. It's just Ash by himself versus Sam and Dean. And I think Ash versus just Dean, it could go either way, but with Sam as well, there's no way.
Plus, I mean, hypothetically, they can summon demons too, so we're just going to cancel that out.
Yeah, there's no demon summoning or spells or shit in this, because they can both do that.
Exactly. It just cancels it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think Ash has his, a little bit more luck. A little bit. And he has the Toon Force kind of Three Stooges-like thing going on.
He does.
But that's not going to be enough, I think, to take them both out. I think he could beat Sam, honestly. If it was just Sam versus Ash, I would pretty much be very confident in Ash. Dean and Ash is a lot more close, and if you throw Sam in there with him, I just think it's the Winchesters, sadly.
I agree, too.
Oh, and it kills me to say that. Like, it really kills me to say that.
I'm glad that you're actually being fair.
Yeah.
Look at you, cute little
Well,
girl.
some of the things I can pull out of my Ash ass for some of these fights.
The fact that you can say that sentence amazes me.
And like I said, I could pull these things out with Constantine possibly in the Ghostbusters, but sadly, I don't think it works on the Winchesters.
Yeah, I got lucky.
I want to say it does, but...
Wayne, I got lucky with Supernatural. Like, the first season it came out, I didn't watch it, but then I went to go visit my family, and my aunt made me watch it, so I've been watching it from the beginning, but it's one of those things, I can see how intimidating it would be, like, to watch 15 seasons of a show, so... But I think it's worth it. I think it's a good show.
And that's majorly my point there, Movie Massacre. They have the strength in numbers. They're also very skilled fighters and have great range of weapons and are very skilled with all those weapons. They have a better range of weapons than Ash. Like I said, he has a Necronomicon and a Kandarian Dagger. Those aren't going to do much because they have just as many artifacts and abilities to summon and use magic as well, so it would cancel it out.
And I gotta agree with Rich here. Argue your points. He fucking loves us. Who's sexier, Dean or Ash? Dean's sexier. But... But yeah, don't be afraid to voice your opinions. Even though we're all super passionate, I know it can be. If you're new to the show, it might be intimidating to throw your.
There's no wrong answer.
To throw your argument into the ring, but there's no wrong answer. We're just really having a lot of fun. We're really passionate about it, but there's no wrong answer.
Everybody really on this board is on there for a reason. If you can just say why, then
they all got here because of our rostering stream. Sam is the dark one. He is stronger than you think. I think initially, yes, he's definitely the smarter, but I don't know. I think Dean's stronger.
Sam's the book
Dean's
smart.
sexier than Buffy. Dean did get killed by getting pushed into a spike. Ash would put gunpowder in the world to stop the bleeding and keep going. Again, if it's one-on-one, it's a chance. But
And I do believe Ash would probably maybe heal from that better than they would, but it doesn't matter. If he's stuck on that spike, like in the same scenario, the two of them are just going to finish him off. So yes, I do believe Ash does have the more Toon Force Three Stooges ability to heal and come back from violence, but that doesn't mean that he can't be finished.
I'd want Ash to win, says MM, but Sam and Dean have strength in numbers.
I want Ash to win too, but I'm going to probably vote for the Dean and the Sam, as much as it hurts.
Alright, how many people are watching? 18. I think we can get at least one more vote. Because it's close, though not as close as the last one. Wait till I pull out my wild card final round. Wild card.
Alright. Just like with the Ghostbusters, which I did vote for the Ghostbusters as much as I really do think Ash could win them. I'm going to vote the Winchesters here on camera so you see me do it.
Rich says, I love the discussions on these topics. I could do it forever. I love pitting all these horror icons against each other and discussing who would win and why. Me too. I'm just... And you call yourself my brother. You are not the Sam to my Dean, Zigma. You are not the Sam to my Dean. Zigma, you're the Dawn to my Buffy. Oh, you're supposed to do that. Oh,
mic drop. Like I said, if it was more on a one-on-one, I would probably be more leaning towards that. Like, I definitely think he could
All right,
take Sam.
16 people watching, 17 votes. Time to call it. The Winchesters. Holy shit. I thought Buffy had those, but whatever. The Winchesters won. But wait. There's more. I don't even have
No, let's just go with that.
Do you want to do Ernest?
I want Ernest later on in Dream Fights, but
All right, we're bringing Ernest later on.
no offense, I don't think Sam and Dean have a chance.
Are you serious? You think Ernest could take this whole thing?
Of course, but anyways.
You're insane. You are insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. You're insane. You ain't got no brain.
Oh no, your mummy has betrayed you too. Everyone betray you.
Oh my God! Mommy! Mommy, why? Everyone betray me! You're tearing me apart! No! I'm gonna go watch Buffy.
Now, maybe if Sam did have Pablo and Kelly, that would have been different. But
Mommy,
whatever.
what about all those times that we would get together and watch Buffy together? The memories.
I'm pretty too.
What about the spoon killer? You know what? Zigma, since we've decided to make Fight Night a regular thing, I think we should do something with the spoon killer.
Yeah,
We need to finish
it's a demon,
the
though.
rosters we have now.
Mhm.
And you know what? Have we done demons?
Yeah, we've done demons.
Yeah,
but
we did
we can
demons.
add Dream Fights later.
We can do dream fights later. In fact, we might do a spontaneous one later on where you name the fights and we do it. What do you think?
Yeah, we just we can have a few picked out by the audience for the next week. Like, who do you want to see next week fight?
All right. So Ernest said, and then it says Ernest would take all of them. He has rim shot, and nobody would kill that dog. That's true. Because why? Why, Rich? Because he's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. He's a Jack Russell too, like my babies.
He's got multiple personalities. They all have different tune force in their own way.
Nice to see Brandon Wayne Lewis.
Also Electro Man.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
It's probably for the best, Ernest.
What did you think? That was way more intense than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Did you think it was going to be this intense? I didn't think it was going to be this intense. Holy shit. Holy shit. I need a holy shit chant.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Do you know what's happening next week?
An
Do you
epic
know?
proportion of battles.
All right, you do the promo for this one.
You think that this was earth-shaking? You haven't even left a footprint yet. This is going to come up as the biggest, literally, biggest battle ever, the Kaijus!
Fight! Who we got? Godzilla.
The Cloverfield monster.
Gore.
From Gwa. The giant sperm from
Chillerama.
Mothra.
Gamera.
There's only one way to say that right. Starro from the Suicide Squad.
Ralph from Rampage.
Stay Puft, Marshmallow Man.
Nancy from the 50-Foot Woman.
King Kong.
The Titans from Attack on Titan.
Monster X, aka Ghidorah.
Gorgo.
And Cthulhu.
And let's not forget, you know him, you love him, you saw him on Stranger Things, the Mind Flayer! Boo, 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 boo! Kaijus!
Battle Royale.
Yes! Alright, hopefully you guys are super stoked for the Kaijus. We're super stoked for the Kaijus. When are the Kaijus going to happen?
Next Sunday, same Gory channel.
Sunday, Fight Night, only on Gory B Movies.
Same Gory channel, same Gory time, right?
Same Gory co-host.
Yeah, oh, okay, cool. And maybe someone else will stop by. We'll find out.
Hopefully, it's nice when we get guests. You know, we've had some really great co-hosts.
Yeah.
Guests.
We're always blessed to have another passionate member up here. Like,
and,
all three of them have been great. So
we should probably add more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know when we get to Slashers, Zigma wants to make an appearance.
I would love that. So, absolutely excited for the Kaijus.
Oh yeah, it's gonna shatter this
The
earth.
Kaijus is kind of why this whole thing started, because we did this at Crypticon, and we were upset that Cthulhu took the whole dang thing and didn't really have anybody who could stand up to it.
I think it came down to the very end was Pinhead and Cthulhu, and it was like, well, that's not a little unfair because.
Oh, I also want to go back and I want to look at our overall bracket, which I created that a while ago. So the Ultimate Showdown. Now it's got Krampus, the Predator, Satan,
And
it's
the
got
Winchesters.
the Winchesters.
Who have defeated God.
Sarah Connor. So already, I think it's getting interesting. What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's very interesting.
Last time I'm going to check in with the chat, and then we're going to say goodnight. We watched Supernatural together, too. We did. Gorgeous. Supernatural wins again. Thumbs up. I freaking love how intense it gets. Me, too. I want the the tall man should be in here. Kaijus! Supernatural, I think, is on Netflix. Stay Puft doesn't stand a chance. Kaiju Not Mother Truckers! Good night, Elisa. Thanks heaps, Gory, guest, and everyone in the chat. I hope you guys had fun. Please do support the show. Give us a thumbs up. Please be here next Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can always click on it and set your reminders. I'll try to get it up a little bit earlier. As I've gotten older, it's a lot harder for me to get it up. So sometimes I get it up the morning of the fight. But I do still get it up. I mean, I do.
Every morning I wake up with it getting up.
I need a little help from
First thing
Danny,
I do in the morning.
But I will try to get the stream up on the channel so you can set your notifications probably sometime around Wednesday. I also think since Sunday night is fight night, I might start adding another weekly show. So you guys, if you follow me on social media and you have any ideas for something you want to see, be sure to let me know. And until we meet again.
Yeah. You're lucky, though. I mean, not lucky, but I think if Buffy would have got by the Winchesters, I think Ash would have taken it all. I do think he could take Buffy. Just not two Winchesters.
Now I'm going to take you, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. Until we meet again, blessed be.
Peace.